Because, like Martin Luther King Jr. will put it, when the people fail to speak, they cease to exist as a people. And like the pastors, we bring you the best of conversations, and usually the conversations are tailored towards nation building. Welcome. 4 minutes gone past the hour of one. And we're going to be having the first part, the first half of today's hustle right about now. And it has to do with trending stories. And your guy on radio, you're the man of the people, Kalada, will be running or leading the conversations from this end of the radio, while you from the other end of the radio, when the time is apt, will be contributing your thoughts on the issues that we will be railing out on the show. Wealth Wilson will be joining us very soon. But while she's at it, let's start with some of the trending stories. You probably must have seen some of them, via the newspaper pages. Others you probably must have seen. You want to join the conversation?
No,
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. I thought I was enjoying the conversation. I
So-
was trying to drag you out of the conversation.
Okay, that's Annie. But then again, let's start. Let's look at some of the trending issues that we have. You probably must have seen some of them as you were going through the dailies for today. Others you probably must have heard as the newscasters on various media platforms read the news out to you. But let's start with ASU. As you already know, since the month of March, ASU's been in some kind of back and forth with the federal government, and the bone of contention, even if you ask them, and they might not agree, but you and I know the bone of contention has always been the fact that there is something they call IPPIS for payment of salaries for government workers, and ASU has always been like, hey guys, this thing is not going to work for tertiary institutions. It's not going to work for the university system. And we're not going to be a party to this, because you will be shortchanging the system, the education system. And government has been like, hey guys, calm down. Be calming down. Be calming down. In short, off your mic. And that's how government has been like. See, you cannot determine how the federal government should pay its staff. And we have decided to use IPPIS. And you see, when you ask the federal government says, we're trying to make sure we meet the demands of ASU. We have given them 6 out of 9 demands. You ask ASU will tell you it's not the money that's the problem. It's not even IPPIS. We just want to make sure that, the structures in the universities are put in place so that we can disseminate proper education to our children. And then if you ask them, okay, what about IPPIS? They're not paying our staff well. Some people are being paid cleaner salaries, while cleaners are being paid registrar salaries. Interesting. But there was a meeting yesterday, Sunday, and even though I should put this caveat out there, even though there was no agreement reached, it looks as if there is progress. It looks as if there is growth, and just maybe schools might be opening anytime soon. Maybe December, January. We never would know, because we are gradually approaching the 1-year mark since the strike began. I think the strike started sometime in March. Let's confirm. The strike started on the 23rd of March. So we've got December, January, February. In 3 months, we will be talking about 1 year since the strike began. But what is this progress I'm talking about? The progress has to do with, the federal government coming out to say we might just, take other platforms as alternative to IPPIS. And why are they coming out to say this? Now, what do you call this? Is it Pengassin? I think it's Pengassin. They are on strike. And one of the reasons why they went on strike is the IPPIS. If you also can cast your mind back in time, you would also remember when some people or some, quarters in the military came out and said the IPPIS is not really paying them the right figures. Recently, the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria universities joined the argument of IPPIS not doing the right thing. Also, the non-academic staff union also said the same thing. Yes, Pengasin said the same thing. That's the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. Of course, ASU is already in that mix. Even some of the civil servants might have argued that it did not give them what is rightfully theirs. So the system is flawed, and the federal government, through the spokesman for the Ministry of Labor and Employment, I'm talking about Charles Ackman, came out and said, see, we might look at alternatives. If these alternatives prove to be better than the IPPIS. But one thing is sure, that whatever platform we will be taking has to work in tandem with the IPPIS. And one of such synergy is that it should be able to eradicate ghost worker syndrome. It should be able to reduce the cost of, the wage bill, or reduce the wage bill, I beg your pardon. It should be also able to stop corrupt practices that go on in government parastatals and institutions. And then the question I have in my head, is this really progress? Is this really progress? Because if you look at the argument, ASU is coming out with UTAS, SANU is coming out with their own platform, non-academic staff union is coming out, that's NASU is coming out with their own platform. Very soon, polytechnics will come out with their own platform. University of Education will come out with their own platform, and everybody will want a particular platform. The military, the police, even the civil servants will now take it alone. If you go to the, what they call that place, that a township area where we have the Creek Road, the Creek Road Market, something like that. There is that water there, that has a lot of aquatic life, right? Let's go to Buguma, for instance. There is so much in short, the Calabari Kingdom has got a rich aquatic life. When you talk about the Okrika tribe, oh my God, that's just River State. That's just, and of course, the people who are in the saltwater region, they've also got aquatic life, to that effect. Let's travel to Bayelsa State. Let's travel to, all the riverine areas in the Niger Delta, and yet, we still find it reasonable. We still find it productive, and just like we do with oil, just like we do with all the natural resources that we do have, we still find it reasonable and a welcome development to import 400 billion naira worth of fish every year.
The truth is, you'll hear whining about fishes. How about the importation, the massive importation we do for palm oil?
It's understandable. See,
no, it is not.
My
because
point,
at some point in time, we used to have sufficient enough those things.
Get importing anyone. No, I'm just saying it's easier to do fishing.
I think it is the same thing, because here, the same monies you would use in creating, functioning, distilling and refining, industries for the palm oil, and then planting, getting farmers, mechanized farming, and having them cultivate this produce.
Do I agree with that? No. See, now, have you gone fishing before?
One time, yes.
You see how easy it is? You just cast your net, apart from the skill. Having that skill is not easy, but my point is, you just cast your nets. Like, Peter in the Bible. You just cast your net, and if you're lucky, you grab a lot of fishes.
The truth is, Kalada, with agriculture, whether we're going aquatic or we're just
staying
with the crop, it is pretty easy, because all we have to do is put in enough funds, the kind of funds that we're using to import these things rather. We could have used them to harness this produce. We're talking about diversification, and there's so many things that we could key into. There is rice, which of course we're taking little by little. There's palm oil. The Edo State government is doing okay, but then what about other uh, regional government.
I have a plan.
River State, Akwa Ibom State, Cross River State, Delta.
I have a plan. I'm going to go to my village, get a lot of, like, 1 million container of fishes, send it to Benin Republic, and then have the government import it. How about I'll be a billionaire in no time.
Well,
I'll be a billionaire in no time.
The truth of the matter is that, with what I keep saying, when it comes to agriculture, I'm a bit disappointed by the pedestrian approach that we're putting to, or we tilt towards every time we talk about agriculture. I am a fan of let's holistically get these funds and put them in chunks into agricultural sectors than giving out little funds to smaller farmers, subsistence farmers, and then little or nothing is done in 1 or 2 years. Then imagine what would have happened if we sacrificed for a whole 2 to 5 years, and then in the coming years we're able to feed at least a majority of the population and then export so that we can get more funds.
Even fish now is exotic. We're importing fishes.
There's pretty much nothing we don't import.
Okay, even to speak.
I mean, there's pretty much nothing we don't import.
But let's talk about, the reason why the institutions are not, working optimally for me. That's how I see it, because if we're importing 400 billion naira worth of fishes, then the system is not working. I mean, do you know how much? Okay, leave it, Canada. Illegal icon, according to the Punch newspaper, Wale Olanipekun has come out to say this talk of restructuring. It is not about amending the constitution. It's about tearing the constitution apart. Start from the preface, where you start from, to God be the glory. Start from there and start rewriting a new novel called The Constitution of Nigeria.
There was a Friday, I think that was 2 Fridays ago, I did a poll on air where I allowed people call in and talk to me about what they would do if they're privy to a position of leadership in the country, share manifestos that may happen or may not happen, you understand? And somebody called in and said, every other opinion put by every other person, right, is great. But until we come up here and say that we're ready to tear apart our constitution and redo it, not amending it, redoing it, because the same time, the same funds, the same everything that we would use in amending these constitutions are the same things. Not really the same thing anyway.
It's not the same,
it will be much more cumbersome and all of that. But then again, it is worth it.
So you're willing to be an author of the Constitution right now, yeah?
The truth is, I feel
you're not answering my question.
No, hold on, In essence, we know that what he's saying is not very far away from the truth. That's what we need.
And that's why I'm asking you yet again, are you ready to be an author of the Nigerian Constitution?
Are you also ready to be an author of the Nigerian? It's a rhetorical question.
I think this is a solid idea, because now, the Constitution was written in a era where technology was not, it wasn't the computer age, it wasn't the jet age. We're in a time where things have changed, and I feel like a lot of things are needed in our constitution, and it's best for us to start all over again and write a new constitution. And that's what I think. Start from the preface and say, thanks to Kalada, who made it possible through his conversations on Today95. I mean, it would be one. Imagine 200 years from now in my grave, I'll be just laughing. I'll be there laughing and say, "Oh, no, I was part of, the committee that wrote a new constitution." So I'm in for that.
All right.
Apart from the glory, I mean, I'm in for that. We need a new constitution, a totally new one, a brand tear rubber with waterproof tear rubber. But let's move on to another conversation. And this one is conspiracy theory as seen on the Vanguard, and it intrigues me because I love conspiracy theories. So you know how Yakubu Mahmood, chairman of the Independent National, or former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, got a second term in office. It's former because he has not been verified. He has not been vetted by the National Assembly. You know how he got the second term and everybody says, hey, what's happening? there is a conspiracy theory in the Vanguard. You can rush and read it out. According to the theory, that due process was not followed. And the due process is that usually when there is supposed to be an appointment of INEC chairman, the former heads of states and presidents are called into the mix, and everybody deliberates and okay, this person is going to be a great one, and that person is going to be a great one. But according to reports on the Vanguard yet again, and those or that process was not followed. But the main gist for me is that a lot of people are fighting, according to the Vanguard, for the soul of INEC. And the soul of INEC is the chairman of INEC. And they're fighting for the soul because 2023, they want to be able to control and, use INEC in their favor. And so according to this theory, there are some big guns in the APC who, are allegiance to some of the big guns who probably do not want Yakubu to come back because Yakubu might be dancing to the tune of some other people.
All right.
The question in my head is, should we be even in the first place allowing government officers who come into government offices by election appoint the electoral commissioner or chairman?
Now, here's the thing, right? First of all, I would like to state clearly, not mincing words now, that...
Well, you mincing words before.
No, just to reiterate and make you emphasize that this is what it is in my head. Now, I would like to state that we live in a climate environment that doesn't understand what something means to be apolitical and free, void, away from any kind of affiliations, that has to do with interest or what have you. When something has to be independent, we don't really understand when a commission has to be independent.
No, we don't. I mean, look at the local government.
I mean,
look at the legislative arm of government.
So if from the get-go we do not understand what that means, then do you expect that there wouldn't be a clamor for certain persons or people to want to get into that position or want to put somebody that they feel will be loyal to them? No. So I'm thinking this is not supposed to be surprising anybody. If it is, I'm sorry.
It surprises me,
All right. As I said, I'm sorry.
Because, I mean, in a country where we have so many professors, in a country where we have professors even handling the INEC itself, I'm wondering why, coming up with a solution this simple, this basic is now looking like rocket science, and we have to go 7 years, studies for it. When I say 7 years, 4 years bachelor's, 1 year or 2 years master's, and then, PhD, and then we become professors just to solve the independency of the electoral body. And it's crazy. And, the reason why I'm bringing this up, or why we are bringing this up, is so that you can tell us what is the best way to get to appoint the INEC chairman. Because the National Assembly that will be verifying the appointment are also elected into office. And they all have plans for 2023. The people who are in the presidency, although the president is not coming back again, some of them might want to come back.
Now, here's the thing. Even though the presidency is not coming back again, we live in a climate, an environment where people send their what they call them?
Godfatherism. They are goons, hoodlums. They are hoodlums.
When people send their groomed children.
No, hoodlums is the trending word. You should use the right word, hoodlums. When they send their hoodlums, please.
Oh my God. No, but on a serious note,
all right.
This is a climb where people are making moves. Whatever you're doing has to favor you. It has to be somebody. If you're putting in somebody there, it should be someone who would not oppose whatever it is you would want, whether or not you would be the one personally in that position. So this is how we play politics in this part of the world. So I think that if that's a conspiracy theory, I'm pretty sure majority of persons who read it will buy that one.
All right, now I probably might have bought mine already, but let's move on. You know how Umai did the camp, and the reason for his the campaign was that Southeast deserves
A shot
a shot at the
at the
president's
presidency.
2023. People don't come up plenty. Oh. I can't do this in English. This is. I feel like the fact that some topics are done in English, you're not getting the right. I'm not expressing it well. I wanted to see a lot of people now are moving to the APC or are threatening to move to the APC because they feel like, hey, guy, PDP, we have been dating you since 1998, and you're yet to give us the ring. You're yet to propose to us. You're yet to get married to us. And you think we are us? We would always be, there
Well, we're
for
ready
you,
to say yes.
warm your bed, but you still would not, and now a lot of them are saying that the PDP should think about the Southeast or, forget about them because the Southeast will be going the way of the APC. And any Southeast person, politician who does not support that move come 2023 will be a traitor to the region. Now, the question in my head, has anybody heard? Because I don't know, maybe I've been looking at the wrong newspapers. Has anybody heard of has anybody heard about the APC coming out to say that we will give the Southeast presidency come 2023? I don't know.
I also seem to be, quite oblivious to that particular one. I don't really know, right? I don't know what they have been hearing, or what they've heard, or the whispers within their circle, that
these
seem to be,
politicians can move in the night.
I mean, who knows?
And when we are sleeping, they'll be talking, so we not hear them. I understand.
Now, but the question for me, right, for the Southeast propagators of presidency come 2023, how well are you playing your cards away from political parties? Now, we keep talking about the fact that, see, if we're going to rely solely on zoning and, the other tribes just giving it to you because, you haven't gotten it before, then we might be on a long thing. Sorry to use that.
But then again, moving to the APC might just be the strategic alliance that they are making. For instance, the APC is the coming together of the North and the West.
Have you not seen situations where people boycott political parties to vote in someone else because they feel the person flagging off with their political party is not who they want? So how
in Nigeria, in presidency?
No, we've seen it elsewhere. It's not something. It's not
Okay.
a utopian ideal.
Okay.
So it probably can happen here as well.
Okay.
We've even seen it with
State government,
gubernatorial elections and all
state
of
government.
that.
I understand, but general, it's going to be a difficult one.
Well, you never can tell, as I said. Now, the thing is, away from coming out every day with the Ohanezes and the Southeast Governors Forum coming out to reiterate that, yes, you deserve the presidency, what else are you doing? We're seeing some, other groups coming out to say they too want the presidency. Right. So how well are you trying to, wet the floor and collaborate with whoever needs to be collaborated with? Because people would not give you this out of pity. The truth is, we still have the tribal and ethnic tension on very high up here. And so coming out to say that you deserve the presidency may not cut it out for you. So, yes, maybe if they move to the APC, that's if the APC would actually consider zoning down to the Southeast. I wouldn't know. But if they do, I'm guessing that the whisper around is maybe, just maybe, they would be, good drivers or conductors. But
just like
how well are they, trying to get people's attention to this call?
Just like the fishery thingy, I'm going to also set up a political party.
Oh, God.
I'm going to call it. What am I going to call it? I'm going to ask the people to give me the name for that party, and I'm going to zone it to the Southeast, and I'm going to produce the president.
It's your time political party.
That was good. That was good. Well, it's your time political party. But enough of the jokes. Let's visit one last conversation, and then we open the phone lines for you to air your views. And by the way, there is a report that is talking about the major increase in the prices of food and commodity, and I'm hoping that God is. I know I'm not supposed to turn spiritual, but I just saw that report now, and it touches me. A lot of people have to go hungry. A lot of people have to go without food because of the situation we find ourselves. But I really hope that God puts the food on your table this afternoon. But the last story that we want to talk about is the army. The army sat before the Lagos State Panel of Inquiry, and they made some wonderful revelations, so to say. And yet again, the narrative is changed from, earlier it was the army was not present, then moved to the army was there, but the army did not shoot. And then the what's his name now?
I like this story.
I'm going somewhere. The Attorney General came out and said it was the hoodlums that shot. And then the army now came back to said and said rather, we only shot blanks. Now the story has been modified.
Blanks with gunpowder.
The blanks contain gunpowder. That's what it means.
No, that's what they said. Blanks with gunpowder.
No, what they were twice. It was like that because they were explaining what's inside the blanks. But now the narrative is that why they shot the blanks or the blank bullets was that there were hoodlums on the other side of the protest who threw stones, who pelted the army officials when they came to maintain law and order. The narrative now is that there was wanton destruction, and that was why they were called to come, to Lekki toll gates to stop, whatever was going on there. But the most thing now is that from we were not there to we shot only blanks. Now, they did not just shoot the blanks they did not shoot the blanks rather at protesters. They shot it at the hoodlums. Where are we going to? What's the next story that's coming out?
The that's truth about this particular matter is that from the get-go, I felt it was going to be very dicey because, having the army come out just immediately after we had the outroar,
Photoshop.
About this situation and saying that it was a photoshopped video that we had seen, from the very beginning. I just knew that something was not going to sit down very well because I felt the army of all people, of all agencies would have taken their time to investigate and get their facts right, because this is insecurity or this is a possible threat to the stability of that state or even Nigeria as a whole, and also a dent on the image of the prestigious army or military, right? So I felt that they would have taken their time, in to investigate and find out what really, happened that particular day. But then again, they moved from there to giving us other stories that seem not to be very well coordinated. And then you would ask yourself, from coming in there to just pacify and talk to the people to remain calm and all of that, to firing at hoodlums and then to saying that you did not fire, to the mix is just too complicating. So I feel that whether or not this investigation, yields anything for everybody, I think that the point is quite clear. The point has been made, which is there is a whole lot of decadence in the system. That's the point here.
And, one of the conversations that erupted when the Lekki toll gate massacre happened was who ordered the army officials to be present. And then there was the conversation, it was the governor. And, they're still insisting it was the governor. But you see, the governor did call Buratai. According to, the officer, Taiwo, that was there, talking to the panel, he called, the governor called Buratai, and Buratai gave the order, and there were different battalions, different groups of army base that came to, restore calm, according to them, at the Lekki toll gate. My point is, if Buratai had given an order, then why was the first narrative that the army was not there, and that pictures and videos of the army present say, hey guys, those were hoodlums. You know how you can, Wealth can just wake up and get camouflage anywhere. Those were hoodlums. Well, do you have camouflage?
See, the truth is, I don't understand how at first the narrative were was that the persons you people saw with military uniforms were people who came wearing the uniforms who are not actually in the army. But then all of a sudden, it was actually the army who was like, what are you trying to say?
Uncoordinated, like you mentioned.
What are you trying to say, really?
Let's open the phone lines. Are you ready?
Please.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm asking, I've joined the Are You Ready now? I had the show. Anyways, let's open the phone lines 0817 0000951 and 0810 Your text messages to the
WhatsApp
number.
Messages as well.
To the number
0701 933 9962.
Can't show yourself. Let's open the phone lines now. 95.1 FM.
Canada.
Mascot, where have you been?
Brother, the journey of life is here and there.
Are you sure you're not one of the promoters of hashtag NSAS and they can't you?
It's not that. You know, one of my very personal friends, his account was frozen.
Oh,
really?
Honestly.
Okay.
It's been resolved beneath this while.
Yeah, you're a suspect now. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, he is a suspect.
Go ahead.
I'm not. I'm well.
Good afternoon, Mascot.
The problem where you say some notably more politicians want to defect to APC is because of the inordinate desire of one man to take over EDP at all costs, which must be resisted. I want to use this opportunity to call on the PDP and Aminu Waziri Tambowa to be somehow far from the governor of Rivers State. Yes, Canada.
No. You know, for you to make such big, humongous allegations, you have to come with proof.
That is what I'm telling you. Because this the PDP, with the Igbo politicians look at it that they don't want to give them the presidency. What of the vice presidential slot? Which the government of the state want to take as his own personal property.
Now, let me correct you now. The southeastern politicians are saying they don't want the vice presidential slot. That what they want is the a presidential slot, and presidency or nothing. Presidency or nothing.
Politics, there are other underlying things that will follow something. When you say you want presidency, if you don't want this one, maybe you want to get power through the north, let us have the vice presidential slot. So that is the problem I'm telling you.
But as PDP come out to say we would not give you the vice presidential slot, as APC come out to say we will give you the presidential slot, and that's another thing you need to look at.
The thing is that Canada, this thing is a gimmick. So as to tell the PDP, you know that Omar Hidden has not fully defected to the APC.
Okay.
Has not fully defected.
Yes.
It's still in the pipeline.
True.
So this is just to hoodwink all these people to make sure. I saw somebody starting in the morning when I came back with Annie saying that the Igbos doesn't matter in Nigerian politics or Canada. The Igbos right from 1960 has been very prominent, even through a situation with the Ahmad Bello of NPC that are irrelevant to politics.
All right. Mascot, that's no, we're not talking about what that person said. We're looking at it from Mumbai. But thank you very much, Mascot, for calling in. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello there, good afternoon.
Bright from Rimigo. Welcome, good afternoon. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, by the way.
Yes, I had a wonderful weekend.
Welcome.
Yes. The Army testimony at Lagos panel of inquiry. You have given a lot of information that did not come from there.
Okay.
I am not the Army spokesperson. A lot of time, those of us who sound as if we are defending are not defending, are not apologists of the government.
Okay, so tell me one information I did not bring, and I'll show you to you in the Punch newspaper.
Army said they deployed a lot of battalions to.
I said different groups. I said different groups. I did not say a lot. Different bases, from different bases. Yes.
That was not true.
Okay.
They deployed a lot of people to several parts of Lagos.
Okay.
the one deployed to Lekki toll gate was one battalion that is under it, one division garrison was deployed to Lekki toll gate. They deployed several places in Lekki.
Number one, at the other side of the protest, according to Taiwo, I'm looking at it right now before me because I am not giving information I do not have. At the other side of the protest were people who were trying to bring down the Oriental Hotel.
Oriental Hotel. Very good.
That is what I said. I said on the other side. Listen. You wouldn't tell me what I said. I wouldn't take it. Now I said on the other side of the protest. That is what I said. On the other side. Now, number two, if you look at what he said we shot blanks, and then he started explaining that if it were real bullets, their heads would have torn apart, and their stomachs, their intestines would have. So who was he shooting the blank bullets at?
No. It's not what he said.
Oh my!
What he said. He said the bullets they fired were blank bullets. Where he even gave the analogy of Odeshi, that the only thing the blank bullet could do is when you fire it at sensitive part in the eye. That is the only time.
And so, what is this? How is that different from what I've said? No, how is that different from what I've said?
It's different from what you're saying.
How?
That he didn't say they shot those bullets directly at protesters in the air. That if it was a live bullet, that AK-47 live bullet traveled 700 meters, that at 600 meters with a good skillful shooter, it could still.
But you're still not getting the point, Bright. Now, if the live bullets were shot in the air up, even at that, it still would not wound anybody. And even if it does, it would not tear their heads apart. You're not getting the point.
Blank bullet, that's what he's saying, that the blank bullet was what they fired up. That if it was a live bullet they fired at protesters as they claimed, that was when they even showed the shell of the bullet, that if it was a live bullet that was fired at the protesters, that the kind of injury they had seen at the hospital would have been more devastating. That the live bullet, if you point the live bullet on your arm and shoot, it couldn't pierce. It could only make you swollen. That was when a journalist asked him, can it be tried on you? He said he didn't bring a rifle. So he didn't say the live bullet was fired at the protesters. I mean, the rubber bullet was fired at the protesters directly. That it was fired in the air. That even if it was fired directly, that the highest thing it could do was swollen up. So if it were to be a live bullet, that the kind of injury they are seeing would have been worse than what they saw, because that AK-47 can kill even at 600 meters when it is traveling 700 meters per second. He didn't say they fired at the blank bullet at the protesters. He said it was fired up, and the only thing he could do was to make that spark.
All right, then.
Let's give proper information.
Thank you very much.
Information and over emotions.
Thank you very much for calling in. Let's take the next call there. 95.1 FM. Lost that call. Let's read some text messages. All right, keep your calls coming in. 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951.
Hello, Kalada.
Yes, welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, I want to Chima, calling from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome, Chima.
Yeah, Nigeria import, Nigeria spent 400 billion to import fish.
Mm-hmm.
Kalada.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Quite unfortunate. Now, you see, when this administration came on board, we were made to believe that they told Nigerians they were coming to diversify the economy, which means Nigeria was no longer going to depend only on oil. Canada, with what I'm hearing, could it be that the diversification is not working or what?
It's slow, but we can't say it's not working. I think when we talk about diversification, we have singular focus. The government seem not to be very focused on every agricultural produce.
Well, let me tell you, this government is not serious about diversification, because when you want to diversify, now we have this local fishermen. You understand? Now, if you empower them, you understand? Now, Nigerians are not, I think there must have been a reduction to those people who are empowered. You understand? There must be a reduction. I don't get it. Like a country like Nigeria will import it in such amount when we have waters around here.
All right.
It doesn't even, so even fish, it doesn't, despite maybe a little stress and all that, it doesn't take much.
All right. All right.
These people are very serious. I think it's high time a successive government try to look the other way around, because I'm seeing this diversification that they are not serious.
All right.
All right.
Every time, every transition has come, everything is oil.
All right, thank you very much. Now, let's read this one from the Vanguard. Where is it now? Okay. Now, General Taiwo said troops were deployed from Badagry, Ikorodu, Epe, Apapa, Ikeja, Alimosho, and even Lagos Island to restore order at the Lekki Toll Gate venue. So 5 formations were sent to the Lekki Toll Gate, if you are listening, Mr. Bright. Also, where's that other one now? At the toll gate, the real #EndSARS protesters were on one side sitting, while hoodlums who wanted to burn down Oriental Hotel were on the other and were dispersed by soldiers using blank bullets. So I don't get where your argument is from, Mr. Bright. Really. But back to the phone lines.
95.1 FM. Okay, lost that one. Let's take some text messages and WhatsApp messages now. This one says, good day, everyone. When I hear the amount used to import, I begin to wonder, what do we really produce in this country? Even toothpick, we import. Now, wow, that's coming from James in Choba. This one says, good afternoon. To start rebuilding Nigeria, we have to trash this evil document called the Constitution. This is when I will know change has started. And that's coming from Frank.
All right.
This one says, Kalada, Mr. Mascot's comment is right about... Okay, all right. Thank you very much for letting us know that his comment was right. Anyway, straight to WhatsApp now, and let's see what we have here. This one says, the question that should be asked concerning the importation of fish is how safe or what's the state of our waterways here in Nigeria. Why would I want to risk going into large-scale fishing business when all the issues of insecurity, piracy, and kidnapping we have in this country on our waterways? My brother, doing any form of business in Nigeria has had so many challenges. Recall the recent story online of a lady crying about her business being sealed up with staffs and customers. This country is hard. See, the thing is, Emmanuel, that's your name. The thing with going into fishery, right, by the government is that when they do, they would also make sure that they settle every other modality around it.
Of course. There has to be the needed infrastructure,
will be cleared out of the way, because this is going to be a way of getting revenues and upping the GDP of the state of the country. So, that's settled.
Exactly. Because, even for businesses to thrive, upland, not just the waterways, for instance, like you want your company to be the company that's investing in your state or in your country to be productive or to make good revenue, you would have to give the company good security. You would have to give the company basic amenities like power. So all those necessary infrastructures will be put in place. But then again, a government would rather import.
Okay, more of that. Okay, this one says 3 Igbo governors will lead mass defection from PDP or Hanese. Make I laugh them for a che. Are they aware that Igbos have deficiencies? Those agitating for Biafra struggle and those agitating for Mosob and those in one Nigeria. Which one then be? Igbos are really divided, honestly. Ohanese should better think well before they make big mistake that they would regret in the end. And that's coming from Thank God at Tuebo.
Thank God, I want to disagree with you, because I want to believe that if the presidency is given, then there will be some unification.
Or if there's a glimpse, that they probably would be given a shot at the presidency.
Because
maybe all of those divisions can just
because even
mended.
The people calling for secession, even the people saying, okay, all of them will come together because they might feel that if they have a president, then they can make their request.
The idea for the division in the first place is because they feel they're marginalized.
Of course.
So they're exploring other options to show the world that they're being marginalized. So if you give them a shot, they probably, reconsider.
All right, then. Let's take this 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, Canada. That's slow.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm Robert, my name, calling from Oibo.
Robert from Oibo, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. But there is something I want us to understand. That when the protest was on, the protest was peaceful.
That's your argument now versus the argument of the army, because the army said it was wanton destruction at the time.
It's not like that. Canada is not like that.
But that's not what I'm not the one who said it. It's the army.
That is allegedly. Let's call it allegedly.
Okay.
Yes, but because the protest was peaceful, we was peaceful. You, as a journalist, you also know that the protest was peaceful. Not when the shooters. That is when it becomes something else. So if the Nigerian, the army said they did not. Initially, they said they didn't even go to that place.
Of course, they did.
Later they said they went, but they did not shoot.
All right.
Later they said they shoot. It was not a live bullet. And now they said it was a rubber bullet.
It's still the same, not live bullet now. It's still the same.
It's the same thing. Blank bullet, rubber bullet.
You people are journalists. You need to, because that man is a very strong journalist.
Okay.
It's today in Nigeria. And we know where we'll get to. But then I will see the truth and he will talk the truth.
Now, truth is relative. Now, number one, you cannot say because you were not there. Now, the army has come out to say they were there. So it's your word against their word. And they were there. And they are saying, see, they were hoodlums who were trying to, or who are already, causing havoc and all of that stuff. And they were there to stop it because the police had been overwhelmed. So you need to look at it from that perspective. You cannot blame journalists. I mean, my colleagues in Lagos, they're trying their best. I mean, you still read newspapers, don't you? You still get the full information from newspapers. So you can't really blame the journalists because the army, made a statement or not.
Canada, listen to me. You agree with me that there was a day I was making a speech here in Oibo that what happened? That a convoy came to Oibo, and that is the governor of.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to mention it. Go ahead. You don't have to mention it, please. Go ahead with your go ahead.
It said allegedly. But on that convoy day, on that fateful day of Friday, as they were coming from express, they were shooting. Everybody was running. And at the end of the day, when they get to Obama there, they shot somebody.
Now, let me explain something before I go to the next caller. Listen, Robert. Now, the use of the word allegedly is because anybody can come up with any information and it cannot be verified. Now, if someone like Governor Wike comes up and makes a statement because of his office, because of the authority vested on him, it will be taken. But you cannot just come up and say they are shooting in Oibo and they should take your comments hook, line, and sinker. It will cause mayhem in society because anybody can wake up any day and just say something and everybody will be running with it. But thank you very much for calling in, Les. Just to clear that one there.
No, I think he's having a melody.
The kind of thing that I'm hearing on radio, my brother. You see, Canada.
I can only imagine.
You see, Canada, this military and what happened in Lagos, if I'm comparing it to Obibo own, Nigerian military is not building a great.
We're not talking of Oibo now. Can we just can we stick to the conversation? Thank you.
Because they are not building a future military that people trust. That's the truth about it. They are not building future military that people will trust. Even politicians, they are not building future politics that people will play, and you come out, people will trust you. The kind of thing that I'm hearing, this allegation and counter allegation. You know that happened. Nobody believed that the military was there, even from Malani presidency. Even when they made the presidency statement, they did not mention it. They did not even try to mention it because of they know that it's dirty. It makes me remind when they interviewed Nigerian President Muhammad Al Jazeera. One beautiful lady was look at this picture. They are killing people in Nigeria. He did not look at the picture. He said, let them go out and
that's still not part of the conversation. Can we stick to the
conversation, let me go
please?
to certain governors that want to decamp with Ohanese. See, they don't have power to determine the future of the people. Umai that is going to APC, he's fighting for Senate president. I'll call you back and tell you, say, Umai is going for Senate president. None of them have future for presidency. They don't know what they want. They are confused.
Right.
They are confused. They are bringing shame.
I am surprised. I'm surprised you're saying this, but
I'm telling you, because all of the politicians that is famous, Igbo president, is that Igbo president Nigerian problem? Is this the current problem? If they give Igbo president, will the problem solve? Will the problem be solved, my brother, if they give them presidency? No way. They are not the problem. Igbo people are not Nigerian problem. Even though it is the president, Nigeria will remain like this. That's the truth about it.
Well, you see, that's where I have a problem. They're absolute. They're clamoring for Igbo presidency. They're looking at it from the angle that they too might likely, be a chance at restoration for the country, isn't it? What if they become president and then they do something different?
But I think where Obina is coming from is that there is a mistrust for Igbo people. And the Igbo people too don't even trust themselves. That's what they're saying.
Now, clearing the mistrust, wouldn't it be that if they become presidents, they probably would gain or garner trust from other regions? I mean, we never can tell. That's why I say let's not always talk in absolutes.
We'll find out in 2023. But for now, let's do the news update at 2, right?
let's please.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered on air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Wealth Wilson. Report from Kana local government area of River State reveals that suspected cultists terrorized in the area have struck again, killing one person. Our correspondent gathered that the hoodlums invaded Daburu community and killed the youth of the community identified as Ledum Waikina. The chairman of the community Development Committee of the community, Vincent Bosi, who confirmed the incident to our correspondent on telephone interview, called on relevant security agencies to investigate the repeated killing of youths in the community by gunmen. Bosi, who recalls how on the 3rd of June this year, gunmen invaded the community and killed 2 persons, urged the police and sister security agencies to provide adequate security to fight against insecurity in the area. Our correspondent gathered that the killings may not be unconnected to supremacy battle between suspected Iceland and Dagbam cult members who have also targeted relatives of their rivals. Reactions are trailing the proposed increase in the price of sachet water across the country. Some respondents who spoke in an interview with our correspondent Sandra Kenneth expressed concern that the move may force some persons to resort to drinking untreated water.
To increase the price of the pure water, and if they do increase it, life will be difficult for us. We find it hard to do some certain things here in the country, so we just urge the government to calm down and reduce the price of things, the price of raw materials. And
if they increase the price of pure water in Nigeria now, life will become so hard and so unbearable for us, because we citizens of this country and we unemployed youth find it difficult to survive. And if the price of pure water is being increased, so many lives will be shortened, and we lack potable water. So if pure water is being increased, which means we'll go back to drinking dirty water, and there'll be a lot of sickness in the country, and we are begging the federal government to come to our aid.
Speaking on the reason for the proposed increase from 100 to 120 naira retail price, the Rivers State chairman of the Water Producing Association of Nigeria, Egberi Maxine, said it is due to the hike in prices of raw materials. In a statement obtained by a correspondent made available to Correspondent Express, regrets over the increment, but said it is the only way to continue the production of water. He also advised retailers on the need to store their water and keep them away from sunlight using tarpaulin. The chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, has denied that Nigeria's decision to close its border prompted Ghanaian for Nigeria decided to close its borders. Dabiri-Erewa added that the closure has impacted negatively on the finances and psychological state of many of the Nigerian traders, leading to suicide in at least one case. On a foreign scene, police in Uganda yesterday tear gas supporters of presidential candidate and musician Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobby Wine, and denied him entry into one of the campaign venues. Bobby Wine supporters who had gathered at Kumi town east of the country were also dispersed. His convoy was later denied entry into Sironko area and had to turn back. I am Wealth Wilson. Do stay tuned as they continues with Wealth Wilson and Kalada.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Young lady, you're under arrest.
Oga, for waiting now. What can I do?
When you get to the station, you'll find out.
Hey.
It's a mark. You see, if I deal with you, nothing will happen. Nobody will question me. I will deal with you.
Oga, leave my clothes now. Waiting. You won't naked me. Oga.
Do you have 200,000?
200,000 for what now? Waiting I do where you want to collect 200,000.
If you get to the station, you pay more than that.
200K for waiting. I don't get that kind of money. I don't get that kind of money. Oga, remember, you were once like us before you got into force. You have brothers and sisters like us in this society. The law says protect lives and properties. But what do we see today? This life don't last forever. Please remember, we have just one life. Why can't we live for one another? This message is brought to you from Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
I didn't want to put that. Come on, open that door now. I go match on that. Oh yeah, give me that thing. Come on, give me the phone. Give me that thing. Oh yeah, that shoot that police. Go.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore. A solution we seek. A desire to stop the trend is imminent.
Wait up. 2 seconds.
God, hey, Jesus. Straight bullet, though. What kind of country is this? Hey, boy, I just said to go and buy something. What kind of thing is straight bullet from where? I'm finished, though.
Directly or indirectly, we all have lost people, friends, family, or acquaintances as a result of insecurity. But is security only the job of the government? No. Security is not one man's job alone. Every individual in the society has a role to play in order to achieve a secure society. We urge citizens and indigents to adhere and respect the laws of the state, report irregular activities to the authorities, and we implore security agencies to carry out their duties as stipulated by the Constitution and not infringe on the rights of citizens. If we work together, we can build the Nigeria of our dreams. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
This is today's hustle. One is objectivity. We raise.
If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double leverage. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Today 95.1 FM.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one with bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
you
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double leverage. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from 1 p.m. to
over the weekend we saw the due process, the rules of engagement. Is that
kind of orientations we have going on around these agencies?
Investigations, would be done on that very one and not come out. If the governor is saying that the NBA should not preempt the investigative panel by coming up with, such statements that they might have been extrajudicial killings in Oyibo, is if it is true that the army, because the paramount ruler has said it now, if it is true that the army is going from one point to another, arresting people who might or might not be IPOB members, is that also not preempting the investigative panel?
Now, before all of this, right, I think it was some 2 weeks ago, we had the news that the NBA had stated that they would look into the breach of law and order and the breach of human rights, fundamental human rights in that area, away from the investigative panel. They stated it. So they coming out to give results of their finding, for me, is correct, because they had stated that they would be checking out what really happened in that area. Now that they've stated this, they, being legal practitioners, will take it up, especially with the state inquiry panel being set up.
But now they have reports that even though they wanted to go for findings in Oyibo, I think insecurity in the area did not allow them go. I don't know how they did whatever findings that they did, but they made their findings and they came out with that conclusion. But the governor is saying, see, why would you conclude? Why would you even conclude when there is an inquiry of panel who's yet to do its job? The question in my head, if the statement by the NBA is preempting the panel of inquiry, then what about the allegation of extrajudicial issues? Not necessarily killings now. Maybe someone is arrested without due process. Maybe someone is taken without recourse to his lawyer, or without recourse to his freedom or his rights, so to say, his human rights. So when you look at all of it, are these issues not also preempting the investigative panel? Because the investigative panel is supposed to look at such issues, because it's supposed to be pre, during, and post NSAS protest. So I'm thinking, should also the security agencies calm down while the investigative panel, does its work and comes up with a white paper that then can be implemented by the federal government or even the state government?
The truth of the matter is that this is a very, trying time for everybody, and everybody seems to be up, especially with their ears and mind, to find out what really happened in these other areas. Oyibo now, for, example. I feel that, yes, the investigative panel should carry out its own duties, right? Now, if there's any need for any other agency or any other body to come in to assist or, aid in getting more evidence or help the investigation, come to a good conclusion, then maybe, yes, it should get the help of these other agencies and groups. But the truth is, I still remain with the fact that the NBA coming out to state their own findings away from what the investigative panel has gotten or is getting, for me, is correct. Now, if they seem to be contrary to what they are finding with the investigative panel, they will take it up with that panel, isn't it? Now, they had already stated as a body that they would investigate to find out whether or not there was a breach on the fundamental human rights of people living within that area. And if they think that there is an issue with whatever findings they have, they would work hand in hand with the investigative panel. And that's a win-win situation.
I also want to look at it from this other angle. I feel like there's so much mistrust when it comes to the army this period, because the narrative of the army in Oyibo has not been a good one, right? People have said all sorts of things. I know some of them are fake news, some of them might have been the truth, but
or exaggerated
stories. Thank you, but they are allegations nonetheless. And what I would say is that there should be proper investigations into all of it. And instead of we to say, don't make such statements, we would say, let us investigate.
Simple.
Now, Lekki Toll Gate is an example. There is still the back and the forth as to whether anybody died or not. You get, but the fact is, people made those statements, and certain investigations have been done, and now we're beginning to see different sides to the story that we were told in the beginning, right? So I'm thinking that the same approach, should be used where there is an extended investigation into the Oyibo crisis. And just maybe we shouldn't just be so quick to put this case to rest, to put it to bed. We should be able to now go beyond and say, okay, see, this is what the people are saying. This is what the security agent truth. Oya Mukwenta Oyibo. If you say people will come out. But as you're coming out to tell your story, you're also giving evidence. Because, they can't just take your story like that. And if the army is saying, okay, this is what happened, you're going to come out and say, hey, army shot me. Army arrested my brother. 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 people see to be, accepted in court. So I don't want to play the back and the forth game. I don't want to play the, this person is at fault game. Everybody who is complicit, whether IPOP members, whether residents in Oyibo, whoever started it, whoever ended it. It's one thing for someone to start a crime. It's another thing for another person to end it. All of them who are complicit should come and face the music of the law. That's if the law would want to play music in the first place. So that is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But I do not know about you. 24 minutes going past the hour. Let's get to hear from you. NBA Port Harcourt chairman, what's his name again? I'm going to get his name. It just skipped my head. I think Prince Inyekwere. The inquiry should need to hire lawyers to represent them at the seating of the investigative panel of inquiry set up by the state government as directed by the federal government. However, the Rivers State government, through the Governor Nyesom Wike, has come out to say that, that position by the NBA it's nonsense. I added that one. It's nonsense. And it says you can't preempt the investigative panel. That all they should do is actually go to the investigative panel. Open the phone lines now. We are going to okay. Well,
basically
I was going to say something you would not have liked. It was very inappropriate.
It's very nice you stopped there,
Easy.
I'm not that nice, so.
All right then. Wealth and I on the show today's hustle, second half of the show, by the way, and it's time for you to jump in and air your views. 0817 0000951 and 0810-951-0951.
Do send in your text messages, WhatsApp messages to the number 0703-933-962.
Actually, it's 0701.
I missed it. 0701.
Yeah.
In my head, I said 1 anyway.
All right.
So sorry about that mistake. 0701 at 933-962. So let's get to hear from you about the situation on ground and the Rivers State government's position on the Oyibo. I wanted to say massacre.
The way you called it Oyibo, you use it
Oyibo.
Oyibo. Oh.
Oyibo.
This Oyibo girl. All right, now let's put the phone lines. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from? Chima, is that you?
Hello, Canada.
Yes, Chima, is that you?
Yeah, Canada. I want to Chima.
Okay.
Canada, my reaction on what took place in Oyibo, I think it's unfortunate. Now, when there is a crisis in a community, hello, can you hear me?
Go on,
loud
please.
And clear.
Yes, when there is a crisis in a community, when people are the sighting of the security agency, you'll be able to heave a sign of relief. But with what took place in Oyibo, I think it was the other way around. You understand? As a political office holder, for the first time, at least, let them try to defend their citizens for at least once in a while. I don't get it at all. Now, something happened in Oyibo.
All right.
The governor came out and were able to compensate the families of the police people that lost their people. You understand? Now, on the side of the people, where the governor, because I've listened to the governor in different political statements, he comes to different areas where he made a statement that he was actually with the people. So I see no reason why a governor who told us that he was with the people at such a time as what took place in Oyibo, you will now be lopsided.
Is it really lopsided, really?
Of course, it is lopsided because the settlement was only on the side of the security agency. What about when the people have lost their lives?
All right.
You understand? There was even a statement that in the mortuary in Oyibo, someone was brought there with a gunshot wound. So the people that look, you must defend your vote, even with your last breath. Then when it comes to defend the people, they will not.
All right.
I mean, they don't want anyone to speak out.
All right.
All right. NBA, they are correct.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I just saw this headline that made me laugh, but we'll talk about it later, I guess. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello, Mr. Canada.
Good morning.
Lady West.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sam.
Did I say good morning?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
To you guys.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Canada. You know you are very excited.
Why am I?
And I know why.
Why? Tell me.
Being in the studio with such a beautiful woman like Wes can make everyone to be excited.
So, before you make me say something else, I was going to...
Brought us to this level that we are now in all these controversies. Knowing too well that is this criminal terrorist group called IPOB that has brought us to this level. But the truth still remains. I believe in facts and evidence. We should not come with argument or try to dispute what the other party is trying to say. All we should do is to make an avenue or a platform, just as they have said the judiciary or whatsoever in the state, judicial killing. Let them bring the evidence and make their defense on this platform. You see, I am not in support that because these men, they are terrorist group who cause all this huru that we are going through now. Then the security forces should go there and be killing innocent people. It is not a welcome idea if that is the case. So if it happens that these security people over seriousness or whatsoever or lack of or incompetency made them to, by any means, kill innocent citizens of this country, I think they should come and tell us why they did so.
All right, then.
So it is not something that we should just debunk whatever evidence or...
So in summary, you're saying that it should be investigated?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, it be investigated.
By the panel. I wouldn't let...
These same people voted for you to become either president or governor.
Mm-hmm.
And they voted for you so that you can come and protect them, come and defend them.
All right.
Now, a situation where it appears that our political office holders seems to be protecting a few, that is in the security agencies. And while the security agencies equally protect the political office holders, is quite disheartening. Because right now, if the governor is interested in knowing the truth, if he didn't send the military or any other security agent to be able to kill arbitrarily, now the governor should be positioned for the truth. What happened? I didn't send you to be able to kill, people.
You were sent to restore peace and order, yeah?
Yes, I sent you to go and restore peace and order. So what happened? Because the complaints have come from different quarters now, and I really need the truth. Now, the governor himself is the one that is supposed to encourage independent investigators to go and find out, and even that.
But that's where the panel of inquiry comes into play, and he has asked them to take it to the panel of inquiry.
Hold on, Canada. See, the panel in the first place, you know, the same way I know that it was not meant to cover Obibo. It was after the NDA's move that they now went and expanded it to cover Obibo.
No, it is supposed to, according to the presidential or the presidential, I beg your pardon.
Directive.
It will end up in gutter. You will see it as Suya Point.
No natives, so it's not just
Now here's the thing, right? Between the body, right? A group, a recognized legal group like the NBA or human rights group like and reports, right? Now, if the NBA being verified state nationally comes out to say that, you know what, this is what we find, it would be easier for,
Why not give them enough time? You see the politics they're playing with the life of people.
See, if the panel is closing today, it's because of the number of people who had sent in petition, right? They've been able to cover all of it.
This is the expiring date.
The Obibo genocide is too much. They need.
We cannot call it a genocide just yet. Investigations should be done, just like the army has come out to say Lekki Tollgate massacre is fake news and nobody died. So we've got to do investigations on that very one before we call it a genocide or a massacre of any sorts. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello, good afternoon.
Right, welcome back.
Thank you.
We are not done with our argument, though, just so you know. We'll take it
but
off.
You're not starting now.
We'll take it off.
We're not going there. I have your on Nigeria Association of Papas.
I used to think the associations were so that the profession could be, stellar, so to say, can be, more productive.
It is an umbrella association of lawyers.
All right then.
Nigerian Labour Congress, the Association of Workers. So NBA does not have right to investigate the larger society. Well, you made that they don't have right. It is only a government institution that is established by law that will investigate a crime that is committed in society.
But a journalist can investigate a crime committed in society.
A journalist is doing investigation for fact on his own consumption.
Same with the lawyer now. Because a lawyer is the one who will go to courts to argue the facts that he has found.
You are what a lawyer.
Mr. Bright, do you want me to correct you now or much later?
Correct
now,
me now.
Anywhere you like, you can just surf out what the MBA is, right? It's a non-profit umbrella professional association of all lawyers admitted to the bar in Nigeria. It is engaged. Stress it. Engaged in the promotion and protection of human rights. The rule of law and good governance in Nigeria. So what part of it doesn't align with what they're doing right now?
I told you.
You just mentioned what they promote, right?
Oh my God.
You mentioned what they promote, what the umbrella stands for. They do not have the backing of the. They can do that in order to advance the cause of the society. But they are not vested with that authority to override government institutions. Now, what we are talking about is what happened in Oyibo.
Three of them precisely in the building, and they all went for Dustin Johnson, and it turned out to eventually be so because he had a healthy lead that, he just needed to hold his own to eventually claim his first Masters. That was the case. Perhaps the guys who even came close to challenging him was Australian Cameron Smith and South Korea's Song Jae Im. So for me, it wasn't a surprise because this is the second major he's winning. If you go by his ranking, he's supposed to win it. He's the world number one, even though it doesn't work that way. But he's a brilliant player, 36 years of age, and eventually clinching his first Masters. Brilliant one. The defending champion was the one that even wore him the green jacket yesterday, Tiger Woods. He said it's such an honor to know. We had the green jacket from Tiger Woods as it were. So brilliant one for him. Congratulations to him. No doubt he did quite well to hold on, and in the process set a record, the lowest score to eventually win the Masters at 20 under. Massive performance from the American right there. Wasn't any surprise that Tiger Woods didn't eventually go into the mix in contention for this one. Perhaps you will say Rory McIlroy, who mounted a late surge, but somehow it was too little too late from Rory McIlroy. But at the end of the day, kudos must go to the winner.
All right. Perhaps it's the nature of the sport, but are we ever going to see some level of consistency in golf, especially the kind we had or we saw when Tiger Woods was really the tiger in golf?
Superman, it will be difficult. It's not like it's really the nature of the sport. Tiger Woods dominated almost at the same level playing. Back then, Tiger Woods was head and shoulders above these guys in terms of quality. He will always go there and win. He's less than 46 years, but he's won how many majors? 15 majors already. Just 3 shy of the record set by Jack Nicklaus. So, if you look at the guys currently, playing on tour, it looks like they are at par. It's just a question of who wants it most. And if you're not careful, tomorrow you are no longer there. When Jordan Spieth came up, at some point in 2015, the young man was doing his thing. We thought he's going to be the next big thing in golf, but all of a sudden he's no longer in the record in these days. Hardly even wins any recognizable tournament. But that is it. We just bear with them the way they are right now. It's the same thing we talk about the ladies when it comes to tennis. Today is Iga Swiatek. Before you know it, is what's it called? Different names springing up. All you cannot even predict who will win a tournament. Unlike the guys, that's what we're experiencing in golf these days. But what can we do? Let's manage it. You want to say it's becoming very competitive, but for me, I think there's no clear cut, leader right now. A golfer that can take the courses by storm, beat all. The ranking is also changing hands as well. One tournament, you win today, you shoot up in ranking. Another player comes up, before you know it, they beat you and they go the next person goes up. But when Tiger Woods was there, he was consistent as world number one. But that is no longer the case these days.
All right, let's move on and talk about tennis. Novak Djokovic has mixed emotions after claiming a record-equaling 6th trophy for finishing as the ATP's year's end number one. Djokovic achieved the feat for the 6th time in the past 10 years, matching American great Pete Sampras, who ended 6 successive years at the pinnacle of men's tennis between 1993 and 1998. World number one and 17-time Grand Slam champion Djokovic has enjoyed a stellar 2020, capturing an 8th Australian Open crown and 4 titles amid a 39-3 match record this year. Preparing to open his bid to win a record-equaling 6th ATP Finals trophy in London, where he will come up against Daniil Medvedev, Alex Zverev, and Diego Schwartzman in Group Tokyo 1970. Djokovic looks like he's in a form of his life at the moment. But quickly, let me just run through the results we had in talking about that tournament. Dominic Thiem, he did beat Stefanos Tsitsipas 7-6, 4-6, 6-3. And Rafael Nadal was also triumphant, beating Andrei Rublev 6-3, 6-4. Fine way to actually start. But today, just in about 2 minutes' time, Novak Djokovic will be up against Diego Schwartzman. That game comes up by 3:15, or that match, 3:15 is the time. And just 3 minutes or 2 minutes away. Also, Daniil Medvedev will take on Alexander Zverev. This is Group Tokyo 1970. But Emeka, let's start with this. This is a new record now anyway, even though we know it's not...
He has equal the record of Pete Sampras.
Not something that is very big. But it's a good record. Do you see this man probably becoming the man finally? I know it's a question you have answered before.
No, the man in terms of what?
The man in terms of maybe the greatest in this sport. And also the biggest of records, the Grand Slams. I know he's doing all these small, number one 10 times and 5 times and what have you. But can he go on to actually do it? Maybe in the next 3-4 years with what you're seeing him do now, does he have that maybe? He has a consistency for the next 5 years.
Ability to end up as the greatest player of all time. He has that ability. Let's not forget, he's just 3 slams away from Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. He has 17 Grand Slam titles in his kitty already. He has won 36 Masters titles. That's a Masters 1000 event. That's a record on itself. He's one ahead of Rafael Nadal on 35. He has won the tournament that you're talking about right now 5 times. He wins again by Sunday. It will be the 6th time he will be winning that tournament, equaling the record of Roger Federer himself. So, everything seems to be going for him. We know, the Australian Open is his forte. He will be defending his title there in January. God willing, at the end of the day, there are high chances that he will retain his title, taking him to 18, 2 shy of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Hopefully, we'll have the Wimbledon next year. Who says he cannot win there? He's won there severally in the past. Roger Federer is not in his best form these days. He's not even playing in London because he's still recuperating from a knee surgery he had sometime this year. And at the end of the day, you might not even get the best of him at close to 40. He's 39 already. So his powers are going down naturally. It's not, by his making, so to say. You cannot, at some point, definitely your powers will go down there. Rafael Nadal is doing well basically on clay these days. You play only one clay tournament in a year. Let's say he wins the next 2-3. But Djokovic has the potential of winning both in the US Open, the Australia Open, and even the Wimbledon. Yeah, because Nadal is still playing, then you reduce his chances of winning at Roland Garros. We saw what happened in the final. It was a one-sided final. He lost to Nadal in that one. But I think Djokovic has the potential of going all the way and becoming the greatest of all time. Now, what to making the greatest of all time? Winning the most number of Grand Slams. It's that simple, right? Before Roger Federer, it was Pete Sampras.
No, 14.
From 14. Roger Federer equaled that, surpassed it, got to 20. We are like, wow, who will eventually get there? Nadal is there right now. They are both at par in terms of number of slams won. And Djokovic is not far behind, just 3. He can win 3 in a year. He has done that before. He can win 3 slams in a year. You understand? But let's see how it pans out. Nadal is still active, and we know he's not very good on the other surfaces other than clay. So at the end of the day, I think, if Djokovic continues in this one, but here's the thing, he's not also getting younger. Djokovic himself, he's 33, just a year younger than Rafael Nadal. So, you think somehow, at some point, he will also start, getting tired, as it were. The younger ones are coming up. Dominic Thiem is 27 or thereabout. He has won a slam already. It gives him more confidence to go for more slams there. Alen Zverev has played in the Grand Slam final already. Listen to Dominic Thiem. The younger ones, Stefanos Tsitsipas, they're all coming up. Who knows what they offer in the coming years there? Will they, have it easy against this aging, superstars, as it were? You never can tell. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But as for the ability, Djokovic has got it. You understand? To eventually win more than 20 Grand Slams before he retires.
All right, quickly, Emeka, on what we had in the beginning of the early stages now for these guys. Rafael Nadal, he did beat Andrei Rublev 6-3, 6-4. And we had Dominic Thiem too, also overpowering Stefanos Tsitsipas. Expectedly, for that group now, before we talk about the games that will be going, I think this one should have even started.
It's on already, yeah.
Expectedly for Rafael Nadal, up against Andrei Rublev, a man who has also had a fine 2020 by his own standards.
No doubt. No player has won more titles than Andrei Rublev in 2020. 5 titles already for the Russian. And going into that fixture, a lot of people thought it was going to be very difficult for Rafael Nadal because he's playing against an informed player. In this year alone, due to his brilliant performance, he shot into the top 10 and secured his place, at the ATP finals. So it was the Paris Masters that usually played indoors. But that being said, it was a good start for Nadal. Brilliant win for him. But if you look at the pedigree of the 4 players in the group, you want to think Rublev is the weakest of them all because there's a certain Dominic Thiem, US Open champion, and also Stefanos Tsitsipas, who won this tournament last year. Tsitsipas is defending champion. As a matter of fact, the match up yesterday, the first match, was a repeat of last year's final. So I think Nadal faced the weakest opponent yesterday. And let's see what happens in the subsequent matches when he faces Dominic Thiem and Stefanos Tsitsipas. Then we'll be able to assess his readiness for this competition.
All right, Emeka, your favorites for this one? I'm not sure. I will get to ask you till Sunday. No. It's only today I have to ask you your favorite for this ATP finals now.
I'm a big Nadal fan. I will not go for him. I will go for Novak Djokovic.
Yes. Huge. Novak Djokovic, even though we know Stefanos Tsitsipas took it the last time, you're not thinking there could be any surprise from these guys?
Well, there could be, it's the makeup of the sport. You never can tell, yes. I mean, we never expected Nadal to beat Djokovic in the way and manner he did, at Roland Garros. Neither did we expect Dominic Thiem to go all the way in the US Open after Djokovic defaulted and what have you. But anything can happen. But my thinking is that Djokovic wants this one just like every other player there. He said it already at the weekend that he's in London to win. Remember, he's gotten the year world number 1 for a record equaling 6 times, same as Pete Sampras. He's also eyeing another record to, be the world number 1 for the longest. If he stays at the world number 1 till March next year, he will surpass Roger Federer as the player with the longest stay as world number 1 in terms of number of weeks as number 1 player in the world. So he's also gone in for this one. He wins this one, he equals the record of Roger Federer himself. It means, there's just maybe 3 more Grand Slams to get on top of the all-time greatest list and what have you. So I think I'll go with him. He's a player with a very strong mental strength. He's very strong mentally. He's a never say die kind of player. And against those guys in the group, he's already up against Diego Schwartzman, and I think he will definitely have his way in that group and maybe cruise all through. But I would like Nadal to win this one. He hasn't won this before. I would like him to win this one because, at the end of the day, it looks somehow. He has qualified a record 16 times in a row for this tournament. Yet he hasn't won once. Yeah, although he missed 6 of them due to injuries. But, for a tournament where the top 8 players in the world play every year, you expect someone that has won 20 Grand Slams to win at least to win once. But he hasn't done that. So I would like him to win this one. But my thinking is that Djokovic will eventually grab this one as well.
All right, to Formula One now. Mercedes Formula One boss Toto Wolff says Lewis Hamilton's new contract just got really more expensive after his impeccable victory drive at the Turkish Grand Prix. Hamilton sealed the 7th F1 World Championship to draw level with Michael Schumacher's all-time record with a masterful performance in treacherously wet conditions. Hamilton is out of contract at the end of the year and is yet to strike up fresh terms for a new deal, though he is widely expected to remain with Mercedes next season. Quoting Wolff, it just got really more expensive today. Wolff said of Hamilton's next deal following his win in Turkey, his driving was impeccable. There was not one foot he put wrong today, whilst everybody else did with the car that was today interacting with the tires. For sure, not the best car. Mercedes and Hamilton have remained relaxed about the 35-year-old Britain's contract situation, and Wolff said he did not want to put a deadline on when a new deal will be finalized and announced, indicating that he could wait until after the final race of the 2020 season. But let's just go back and listen to the man who is the man of the moment, actually, Lewis Hamilton.
A bit lost for words. Naturally, I have to always start with saying such a huge thank you to all the guys that are here and all the guys back at the factory, at both our factories and all our partners for enabling us and giving us this opportunity. I wouldn't be out to do this if I didn't join this team. And the journey we've been on has been monumental. And I'm so proud of them. I want to also say a big thank you to Team LA for sticking with me all these years and to my family. We dreamed of this when we were young, and when I was young, when we were watching the Grand Prix, and this is way beyond our dreams. And I think it's so important for kids out there to hopefully see this and know that don't listen to anybody that tells you can't achieve something extremely impossible, and speak it into existence. And you've got to work for it, you've got to chase it, and you've got to never give up and never doubt yourself.
Inspirational. I feel like going to drive now, but anyway, let me stick with what I'm good at.
No, not at okay. He didn't start his own.
He didn't start at this age. But Vettel was a surprise, really, for those who have followed this season of Formula One. Vettel finished on the podium finally. Let's listen to him. He was happy, actually. And you start asking yourself, Vettel, really excited for just one finish. But anyway, doesn't come easy, or it's not been easy for him this season.
It was quite intense, quite long, but good fun. I had a really good opening lap, and I think I've found myself already in P4. Was quite happy on the extremes. Then we switched to inters. It was a bit more difficult in the beginning, and only towards the end I started to find the pace again. Obviously, it was very intense in the last lap, so yeah, a bit of a surprise to get to snatch the podium in the end, but certainly very happy. I think it was a really enjoyable race in very tricky conditions.
Emeka, a phenomenon of this generation, legendary now, Lewis Hamilton, now on course to become the greatest of all time, right?
Well, Superman, I think he's already the greatest of all time. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. Apart from the fact that he's equal, with legendary Michael Schumacher on 7 world championships, titles right there. The other records, most race wins, most pole positions, most points, and what have you, all
shattered everything
in favor of Lewis Hamilton. I think that puts him clear of Michael Schumacher. But it's the question of time, rather than if he will eventually become the greatest of all time in terms of number of drivers' titles won. He will still renew his contract with Mercedes, most likely, do another 3, 4, 5 years in the sport before he quits, and by then I think he will add 1 or 2 more drivers' championships to pull clear of Michael Schumacher. Without a shadow of doubt, he has stayed his place in the sports history with his performance on track. Massive one coming from that man. You can't take it away from him. He is the legend of the sport, like you pointed out. But more than anything else, I think he's the greatest of all time as far as Formula One is concerned.
Well, he stood for a lot of things this season, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it even more exciting. 2020 saw lots of, issues out there in the United States. Black Lives Matter, taking a knee and what have you. Himself was even at some point they even tried to victimize him for becoming too vocal about what's happening in the United States when he displayed the I think Leonard Brunner inscription on his jersey after one of the races, and he was investigated, even though they eventually dropped that investigation. But that being said, this is a man that when he was even doing the taking a knee in Formula One, some of the drivers were not willing to do that. Some of the drivers stopped while he was taking a knee. He stood for the black people, as it were. This year has been very, very eventful when it comes to what's happening over the United States and around the world globally. And this man has been very vocal about it. He's the only black driver in Formula One, and he's the most successful black driver. The Formula One.
It tells you if you have more drivers of that race.
I mean, and that's what he's been pushing for, as it were. Let there be some sort of equality, in the sport. It's too one-sided. You give black people a chance. Mix it up. I mean, the employment too. If you go there, the back room, you hardly find a black man there. That's what he's saying. And look at what he's achieved to tell you that the potential is there for the black people. We are not like we are sounding racist here, but come on, we are just trying to paint a picture of what Hamilton stands for and what he has been able to achieve already as a black man. And it's really, really heartwarming that this man is just up there. Yeah.
All right, let's look at the driver standings now. There's still more points to add, but the man is already champion.
Yeah, with 3 races to spare, he's already champion this year.
Exactly. 307 points with 10 wins, 10 race wins. Valtteri Bottas is second with 197 points with 2 race wins. Max Verstappen is third, just 1 win, but 170 points. Sergio Perez is fourth with 100 points. Charles Leclerc is fifth with 97. Daniel Ricciardo is sixth. Carlos Sainz 7th. Lando Norris 8th. Alexander Albon 9th. Pierre Gasly 10th. Where's Vettel? He's 13th with just 33 points. 13th. Anyway.
It's a shame of the nation. Shame of the world.
Talking about him now, Emeka, he's the only man who comes close to Hamilton in terms of experience and titles won in the current generation of drivers. How much of a disappointment has he been, especially this season?
I think he's been hugely disappointing, to say the least. Let's not forget, he has 4 drivers' titles.
Exactly.
And he got to those 4 before Hamilton. Now, at some point, especially the previous seasons, we saw this man lead the driver standings into the halfway stage of the season, at least back-to-back 2 seasons. That was in 2018 and 2019. But somehow, due to lots of errors from the team, crashes, poor strategy, and what have you, they surrendered their lead to Lewis Hamilton, who ultimately claimed the titles back then. And this year, he can't even talk about any thing. They haven't come close at all. Ferrari have not come close to Mercedes. Yes, they admitted that they can only compete starting from 2021, not even this year. So at the end of the day, you think somehow there's an internal problem in the team that has prevented them to perform at their optimum. That being said, for 14 races so far this season, only yesterday that he got to finish on the podium and finishing third, as a matter of fact. So it tells you how poor he has been. You read the standings, he's placed 13th with only 33 points. You can get 33 points in two races, but we are talking about 14 races and he has only 33 points. Very, very poor. And he's 33 points because he finished third yesterday. Otherwise, could have been much, much less than that. Maybe around 20 or so, 20, around 18 or 20 or so. Because
if not for yesterday's podium finish,
the third place finish will give you, I think, 15 points No, 18 points. 25 for the first place finish, 20 for second place, and 18. Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, this man has been very, very woeful this year. Lots of factors will be attributed to that. Internal fight in the team, poor strategy, failure of their cars and what have you. But we don't really care what happens there. What we know is that you are not performing well. It's your duty to put your house in order. It's your duty to get your engine working very well. It's your duty to make sure your strategies are right, like Mercedes are always doing. So, you should have yourselves to blame. Talking about the Ferrari guys, we don't really care what is happening right there. So at the end of the day, I think Ferrari and their drivers have been poor, to say the least. They are not in the top 3. Very, very disappointing here.
All right, we'll go for a short commercial break. Once we return, we'll be switching to football, and we'll definitely start off with what happened at the Governor Wike preseason tournament.
Let me tell you about a sure way to meet your basic needs. Yes, with NextGen Signature, you can now meet your basic needs with ease. Our services fall under 4 categories. Next Rent, that enables you pay your rent without stress. Next Flex, make your dream event or vacation a reality. Next Fee, you can now pay your fees with ease. And also Next Start, you can start that business and become your own boss. All you need to do, decide what your needs or projects are. Decide when you want this project or need to be met. We can help you reduce the cost of your project by 25% in 3 months, 50% in 6 months, and 75% in 1 year. For more inquiries, call 0703 354 3174. Again, 0703 354 3174 or 0901 064 2536, or come to our office at number 3 Agudama Street, D-Line, Port Harcourt. NextGen Synergy, powered by NextGen Media and Infotech.
There are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
All right, welcome back. The show is still Today Sports Live, reaching you from the studios of a premium news, talk and sports radio station, Today95.1 FM. Before we went for that commercial break, we have talked about golf, we've touched tennis, and we've talked about Formula One. Now it's time to talk football. Where Rivers United, they smiled home. They defeated sister state Bayelsa United 5-4 in a tension-soaked penalty shootout at the Shark Stadium to win the second edition of the Governor Nyesom Wike preseason tournament for the first time after regulation time ended 1-1. Christian Mizo's header in the 51st minute put Bayelsa United on the brink of victory on the away territory, but Chika Godwin leveled things up with a shot in the 78th minute before Theophilus Afelu Haikuli converted the decisive spot kick. The tournament will give Rivers United their greatest agony when they lost 1-4 on penalties to Sunshine Stars of Akure in the first edition has now delivered something to cheer about for the fans. Let's get to listen to the technical advisor of Rivers United, Stanley Iguma, who described how his team were able to turn the match around and was full of praise for his boys.
We try to understand the I praise the players. First half, we were unable to get a goal, even though we started well, but along the line, we slowed down on tempo, and the Bayelsa team took over until the first half ended. Second half, we haven't studied Bayelsa United at first half. We made some tactical changes, and you saw the firework. The players changed the rotation, and the tactics changed, and it started producing a dividend, which made us to score the goals.
Iguma added that the tournament has helped him to have more understanding of his players.
We try to understand the players, to know their approach, their character when it comes to match proper. We've worked with them on the pitch, on the field of play for some few periods, and I think this competition has given us the opportunity to see them in the match situation and see their reactions, see their approach towards our game plan, see how they absorb the tactical plan and how to execute them on the pitch. I think it was a good experience for us, especially as we are preparing to go into the continent and knowing fully well that every game is important to assist the opposition.
Otasolo FC, they were the best team in the tournament.
No, I don't understand. On what grounds are they the best team? maybe the most best behaved team. They considered the fewer yellow cards.
Fewer yellow cards. Yeah.
They won the fair
best
play
behaved.
award.
Yes,
that's
the word.
Team that won the title.
They were the best behaved. Yes, and they were like a rookie side coming into this tournament. Where Rivers United will be getting a player from that particular team. That's according to Boma Iyai.
By tomorrow, you will hear what will happen. Rivers United will be signing a player from Otasolo. That's to tell you that we have achieved a lot in terms of getting the players from the grassroots. So we've achieved our objective, and we're happy for that.
We have achieved our objective. Emeka, will you sum up the tournament?
Well,
did we achieve our objectives?
According to the sports commissioner, maybe the objective was to get to see some grassroots players who are not playing in the elite sides, and see how they can also get them into the team. And that's what he's saying, that Rivers United will be signing someone from Otasolo today. That tomorrow is actually today, because he said this yesterday. So we wait for that news. Last time I checked, the news hasn't broken as per the player they are signing from Otasolo. But if that is the case, then it's the brilliant one. It wouldn't cost them too much to get a player from Otasolo, because at this stage the player is still a rookie, as it were. But when you have tournaments like this, it's basically about the main. Let's not forget, the aim is to put the team in shape ahead of the CAF Confederation Cup.
Yeah.
Especially Rivers United. But this tournament is basically for Rivers United, because they're playing on the continent very soon, and the league will not start by the time they play their first match on the continent. So they are perhaps the team that the competition was designed for. Basically, yes, I know that Lobby Stars, Abia Warriors, MFM, all MPFL sides were also part of this one, but I think Rivers United will be the biggest beneficiaries, because this will serve as a preparatory tournament for them going into the CAF Confederation Cup. But overall, it's been an interesting tournament, no doubt. Bayelsa United, former league champions in the top flight. These days they play in the Nigerian National League, going all the way to the final, even scoring first against Rivers United. Somehow the lottery of penalties did not go their way. They eventually lost that one. I think they did quite well, to get to the level they got to. MFM also showed some brilliance, especially Lobby Stars. Started very well, but somehow they could not eventually hold on. They beat Rivers United in the opening game. That was about the biggest thing they were able to do in the tournament. It's a nice one, but what I don't like is the fixture congestion where you have to play every other day. Yes, I also understand that teams with large squads have to rotate their teams, like Rivers United rotating their teams and what have you. But be that as it may, it's better than nothing, I tell you. And at the end of the day, these teams will go back to their various destinations, having 5-6 matches under their belt ahead of the commencement of the new football season in the country.
All right, another preseason in Aba. Governor Okezie Ikpeazu preseason tournament. Governor Masari Zone is in the north.
Yeah, that one, they are done with that one.
They're done with it.
Yes,
okay.
There's also the Dakwa Building Cup.
Are these strong enough tests for the new season, or even the continent, where some of these teams will be kick-starting their campaign for the 2020-2021 season?
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you look at it very well, take for instance the one in Port Harcourt here, the Governor Wike Cup. It wasn't that easy for Rivers United. They lost their first match to Lobby Stars.
Yeah.
They labored yesterday to beat Bayelsa United. Bayelsa scored first, they equalized, and they had to go to penalty shootout to beat Bayelsa United. So it wasn't like these are very easy matches. Exactly. It wasn't a stroll in the park, for the teams, here, especially the top teams. So at the end of the day, you think there isn't much difference if you're playing an NNL side. For instance, you're a Rivers United, you're playing an NNL side. Bayelsa United is a team with a good pedigree in Nigerian football. Quite unfortunate that they find themselves in the NNL. They've won the league before. They've represented Nigeria severally in the CAF Confederation Cup and even the Champions League after they won the league, back then. So they are a team with a very good football culture. But unfortunately, they've been struggling to come back to the top flight. It hasn't been working for them. So you don't want to underrate a team like that. They would have easily won the tournament yesterday here in Port Harcourt. You go to the other places. Plateau United at the Governor Masari Cup, they were woeful. Plateau United, we are conceding goals for fun. Even Wiki Tourists, we are conceding goals for fun. Smaller teams in quotes, beating them 4-1, 5-1. You know, outrageous scorelines. We had the coach here. They are in a bar for the Governor Igbazu Cup, Plateau United. But it wasn't even easy for them at the preseason tournament out there in Castina. They didn't win it. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, there isn't much difference. What would you have asked for? The best you can ask for is to play against fellow MPFL sides, isn't it? As a preseason, kind of a match to get you ready for the upcoming tournaments, or perhaps travel abroad, which I don't think a lot of these clubs can afford right now. Go abroad, go for a training camp, outside Nigeria. It could be Egypt, it could be, but we don't see that happening often here. So what we'll do is to play amongst ourselves in some of these preseason tournaments, and perhaps sometimes the LMCU, of course, many times, not just sometimes, the LMCU organize the Super 4 or Super 6 tournaments, which I think is not going to hold this time around because we haven't heard anything about it. Ordinarily, that would have been the best avenue to test these teams against the top 3 teams who are going to the tournament, and the team that won the ITU Cup, and put them in a venue where they play against each other, and we have the Super 4 champion at the end of the day. That's what we usually do to prepare them, but that wasn't the case this time around. We understand the situation in the country, the COVID-19 thing and all that, but it is what it is. It might not be the best, but it's better than nothing. Yes, exactly. And on the Rivers United preseason tournament, the Governor Wiki preseason tournament here, I have this message here commentary. It says, we are COVID-19 tests carried out by Rivers United and other clubs during these preseason matches, because if no tests were carried before and after the matches, then I fear for Niger League. Oscar KJ sent that message from Port Harcourt. That's a big issue, right?
I don't have an answer. That's why
they didn't do anyone during the tournament. But I know that Rivers United did carry out COVID-19 tests on their players, but that was prior to the tournament, like even more than a week to the commencement of the preseason tournament. But for the teams who participated in the tournament, the organizers did not carry out any COVID-19 tests on the teams, and in the course of the tournament as well, like we see in other climes where even as the Premier League is going on, they're still testing. Tests are going on, before every match and what have you. But we don't have the capacity to do that, and we hope at the end of the day nothing serious happens to these guys.
All right, we'll keep hoping. But the audacity of hope. Let's go to the continent. All right, Sadio Mane scored the winner. Senegal became the first country to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations finals in a 1-0 victory away at Guinea-Bissau on Sunday. The Liverpool forward Mane netted with 8 minutes remaining to ensure the Teranga Lions maintained their 100% record in Group I, where they are guaranteed a top 2 finish and therefore a place at the finals in Cameroon in January 2022. Senegal have 12 points from 4 games, 6 ahead of second place Congo and 9 ahead of Guinea-Bissau in third spot. A quick look at the results, then I would also bring you the their games currently ongoing. Mali did beat Namibia 1-0. South Africa, they beat Sao Tome and Principe 2-0. Morocco beat Central African Republic 4-1. Tunisia, they beat Tanzania 1-0. Niger did beat Ethiopia 1-0. Nigeria played at a 4-draw Sierra Leone on Friday. Congo did play at a goalless draw with Angola. Egypt did beat Togo 1-0. Benin did beat Lesotho 1-0. Chad played at a 1-draw with Guinea. Burundi did beat Mauritania 3-1. Comoros, they beat Kenya 2-1. Guinea-Bissau did lose to Senegal by a 1-0. And Equatorial Guinea, they beat Libya by 1-0. Emeka, I'll come to the Super Eagles, but Senegal first to qualify. What does this say about the quality of the Teranga Lions?
Well, they are the number 1 ranked team on the continent. Quite easy for them to book a place at the next AFCON. 4 matches, 4 wins, scored 9 goals, conceded only 1. Amazing performance. Sadio Mane in the thick of things right there. He was instrumental in their last 2 matches, of course, and wins over is it Equatorial Guinea, right?
I mean the
Senegal.
Senegal side.
Senegal yesterday.
They beat Bissau,
Guinea-Bissau, right? No, he scored the penalty yesterday. In the reverse fixture, he also scored. So at the end of the day, you think deserve where they are right now. 2 matches to spare. They can relax and eventually bring younger players to even play the remaining 2 qualifying fixtures, or even use own-based players to save costs. As a matter of fact, but you want to think that is how you should play in a group where where you're rated very high. Yes. Not throwing away 4-0 lead, to Sierra Leone and Benin. No, that's not the way to go about it. Could have saved qualification tomorrow quite easily with a win with the Sierra Leonean side. But that being said, didn't come as a surprise that Senegal are true to the AFCON. Even with 2 matches to spare, we know their capability, their credentials, and they have so much quality in the side as well. Even though they underachieve when they go to international tournaments.
All right, a quick look at the results currently that we have. Malawi are currently up against Burkina Faso. That game is in the 83rd minute. It's goalless as we speak. South Sudan, they are leading Uganda by 1-0. 2 red cards already in that game. Tito Okello from the penalty spot giving South Sudan the lead. Well, somewhere in Sao Tome and Principe, you want to say that's a little of a surprise if you're a South African. It's 2-2 now as we speak. The game is in the 79th minute. Haramis just equalized for Sao Tome and Principe. So it's Pesitao and Tembazwane who got the goals for South Africa, but it's South Africa 2, or Sao Tome who are home 2, South Africa 2. Over there in Group D, later today, Gambia will take on Gabon. In Group F, Mozambique will be up against Cameroon by 5 p.m. And somewhere in Group H, Algeria are beating Zimbabwe 2-1. Zimbabwe are the home side. They had Mahrez with another goal for the Algerians, Himan and Didelot, the goal scorers on the day. While a man who is well known, if you know Zimbabwe, Knowledge Musona, got the 1 goal for, or pulled one back for the Zimbabweans. In Group I, Eswatini are currently playing out a goalless draw with Congo. That game is in the 89th minute.
Superman, last AFCON we saw Madagascar, I think, which other country? Mauritania, making their debut at the AFCON.
Tanzania
was there in 1980.
Okay. Yeah, 30 years, over 30 years before they returned.
Now, we could see Comoros Island at the next Nations Cup. Now, that's because after 4 matches, they are top of their group. We know Egypt is also in that group.
Very
Kenya
small
and
island.
Togo also in the group. Comoros Island have not lost a match yet in that group. They have played 4, 1-2, draw 2. They have 8 points, 3 ahead of Egypt, who have a game in hand. Wow. All they need now, they have 2 more matches to the end of the qualifying series. One against Egypt, the other against Kenya. Win one of them, you are in the AFCON. Comoros Island could make their debut at AFCON, come January 2022.
In a group that has Togo, Kenya, and Egypt.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. 8 points already.
They are on top of the group comfortably as we speak right now.
Well, I think time will not allow us to run through the leaders of each group, but I tell you, you'll be shocked at the end of the day. I'm sure one or two of these things would always happen. In South Africa's group, okay, I think that's easy. Ghana look like they are already through. Just 9 points and they're top. South Africa are second with 7 points. Sudan are third. Sao Tome are nowhere to be found. But Emeka, let's come back home. Super Eagles, they're already off to Sierra Leone. Can you run us through any updates from the team? We already know what's his name now? Emmanuel Dennis and Chukwueze. They're struggling with fitness, but they should, according to Genotro, they'll probably make it. Osimhen is
Osimhen is
already in Italy now.
Exactly. Yes. And we hear he'll be undergoing tests ahead of his team's game at the weekend against AC Milan.
I hear he missed those. He missed the clash, even the clash in Europa League.
Exactly.
Tuesday.
He could miss that one. Very, very sad. The shoulder injury sustained, in the game against Sierra Leone and out there. So he's out of that one. Emma Dennis is equally out. Ross says, he has a swollen ankle and he can't, play. So he can only manage to run, but that's not good enough. He appears Leon Balogun is fit again after he sustained that knock that saw him being taken off in that encounter, the beginning of a collapse and what have you. Let's see how it pans out. They are already in Sierra Leone. They took off this morning to Sierra Leone, and there's only one mission right there, to go and redeem their battered image. It was a draw that looked like a defeat for the Eagles on Friday. You don't throw away 4 goals advantage against a side like Sierra Leone, and you're playing at home to draw 4-4. No, not acceptable. In fact, there are even calls for the sack of the coach. The sports ministry are not happy. The sports minister, Sunday Dare, has expressed his disappointment with the performance of the team, and he has called for a very good result over there in Freetown come tomorrow evening. Well, that being said, the Eagles should know better than the fact that Nigerians are not pleased with poor results. The Nigerians want you to win always, and if you're playing against Sierra Leone, that is not asking for too much.
It's not asking for. You're not playing Spain or Portugal.
Exactly. If you suffer that kind of collapse against Brazil, Germany, Spain,
we would understand.
But
I mean, we collapsed against Ukraine. I think so. Even in the friendly against Brazil, some people feel Nigeria should have even won that friendly game, but nobody is complaining. It's Brazil.
Not against Sierra Leone, right there in Benin. So they should be able to bounce back and get all 3 points. Otherwise, it appears the days of the Eagles coach, Gennett Raw, will be numbered if he fails to get a decent win out there in Freetown.
All right, let's open the phone lines and get to hear from you. The phone lines are thrown open. Remember, the text message portal has been open, 0701 9339 962. For the phone lines, it's open, 0817 00009510 0810 9510 We've talked about, we've touched different sports already this afternoon, from tennis to golf to Formula One, and of course to football.
I think also the good news of
Christian Obodo. He has been released, by the way. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, this is Asnan Babatwin calling you from Cross River.
Asnan Babatwin, welcome. You're in Cross River these days. Welcome.
Yes, to confirm something for you people.
Come again?
I want to.
We're struggling to hear you. You want to cut what?
I want to confirm something.
Okay, go ahead.
The Nigeria Women League. Any woman Nigeria league got academy.
Academy.
Yes, for Nigeria Premiership, Women Premiership League.
I don't know of any strong one, but I think maybe you just need to go around the teams. The teams actually, they should have feeders, but I don't know of any recognized female academy. Maybe, except these other guys have others, other maybe the normal academies, maybe they have a female part, but as per female academy, maybe you just go around the female teams. But the phone line is still open. 0817 00009510 0810 9510951. Today's Sports Live. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Emeka from Missouri.
Emeka, welcome.
Yeah, please, you see, there's no need crying over speech in your country. Nigeria, Super Eagles going to Sierra Leone to go and play. Since we are not able to do 20 years. Now, one of our key major players has been injured, Victor. He's going to be at the starting post there. So I think it is better let us just go for formalities, to do the ritual, just complete what they are supposed to do, play the match. But for me, I don't see them carrying through.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. Today's Sports Live. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
My name is Sonny. I'm calling you from Toronto.
Please speak up. We can barely hear you.
Sonny is my name from Ogbogoro.
All right, Sonny, go ahead.
See, I watched Nigeria match against Sierra Leone, the second half of it. I was very, very disappointed. The other time I called, I said that Nigeria don't have to. Our coach keep on experimenting. He have not gotten a team for how many years he has been Nigerian coach. And when you watch that match, when the second half was about to start, I saw the Sierra Leoneans. They gathered themselves and they were charging themselves. And that charge they gave themselves worked out for them in that second half. And they were able to equalize all the goals. And for Nigeria going to Sierra Leone thinking that they will even get draw, I am afraid, because those boys are out for us. They have seen that we are weak.
All right,
they are going to beat us there.
All right.
I'm not wishing Nigeria a defeat, but the way they played last week, they're not convinced.
All right, Sonny, thank you so much for your thoughts. Today's Sports Live, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Superman.
Hey, Simon, welcome to the show.
I know there is no much time to this, but for the Super Eagles, only thing I want Super Eagles to tell me, they should tell me what exactly happened with that match that they played for us on Friday. But you cannot tell me, I can never believe that it was the same player that played first half, that played that second. No matter, even if we are two men down, maybe they gave us 2 red cards. It wasn't enough for us to even lose that match, because for me, we lost the match. So see, they must tell us what really happened. Telling me that yes, coach had many tactical blunder and even selection blunder. But apart from that, because of the players that play, the players themselves must tell us what happened with that match for second half. They cannot tell me that same player that if they lost the ball on the first half, all of them, they will track back, marking the ball, win the ball back immediately. When we are watching it, even some people, we are even mocking the Sierra Leone, say we can local players, we are this. But second half, Super Eagles, everybody start lead.
All right, Simon.
Start doing anything.
All right.
So they must tell us what happened. Thank you.
All right, Simon, thank you so much.
We have to put that match behind us. It's gone. We look forward to the next one tomorrow.
Today's Sports Live, good afternoon.
Hello, Emeka, good afternoon.
Emeka is here. Wisdom will be nice. My name. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Dr. Oko.
Doctor, go ahead.
Calling from Port Harcourt.
Go on.
Yeah, please, well, I want to say how these things will play out. This is Nigeria. We should know the system things work here. The way things work. The next thing that will happen, Eagles will not qualify for African Nations Cup. The next thing, they will sack the coach. The next thing, the coach will say,
I'm not praying for that.
7 months salary. They are not for the past 1 year. You know, the next thing, so it's a normal system we have in Nigeria. So nobody should go and kill themselves. We should be used to this thing.
All right.
The truth. Losing 4 goals. Losing 4 goals for them to equalize is a shame.
Okay. Thank you so much for your thoughts. We are not praying for that, really. Today's
we are in full position to eventually qualify.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good afternoon.
Peter is my name. I'm calling for Romo Christian.
Speak up a bit. We are struggling to hear you.
Okay. I want to talk about the game involving Nigeria and Sierra Leone.
Go ahead.
Football is a funny game. Sometimes the problem with Nigeria have is that we want to win at all the time. We want to see our team winning at all the time. It can happen to any team. I don't advocate for any team sacking their coach. Since we began sacking coach from the days of La Flagaback and all the rest of them, where have we gotten to? What have we achieved? I want to say that Tenaro failed on that day, but does not mean that we should start Tenaro. The NFF and the sports ministers should stay behind this man. Let us move on. We can still pick up ourselves and do better again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Okay, one more caller. We go to the message portal. Today's Sports Live. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Monday, calling from Monday.
Monday, go ahead. Let's hear you.
You see, it has happened in football before. I remember when Arsenal played Newcastle. Arsenal beat Newcastle 4-0 first half.
Nigeria, that's now.
Yes, and Newcastle come back, play 4-4. So Arsenal fans are not dying. As I'm talking to you, I'm Arsenal fan.
Super Eagles, we are not Arsenal fans now. We cannot be taking what you are taking in Arsenal.
My brother, we have to have patience. We have to have patience. We'll see overcome it. We'll qualify. But I want to ask a question. How many teams are qualified in each group? 1 or 2?
How many teams will qualify from each group?
Yeah, 2 teams.
The top 2.
The top 2?
Yes.
If the top 2 are there,
okay.
Will be there.
Thank you so much. I don't think our cry is because we'll not even be there. People are thinking of the results.
Just the results.
Not about qualification.
The way Amana will throw away for a 4-goal lead to concede 4 goals was bordering Nigerians, not the qualification. After all, here we celebrate qualification. The coach prides himself with qualifying for tournaments with a game or 2 to spare and all that. But that's not really the case here. In the qualifiers, South Africa are now 4-2 up against Sao Tome and Principe.
While Zimbabwe have equalized against Algeria.
Algeria 2-2. South Sudan have beaten Uganda by 1-0. Malawi ended theirs goalless with Burkina Faso. On the WhatsApp platform, this one says, please, the Nigerian coach should be relieved of his job. And Nigeria will not make any headway with such level of ineptitude by the coach. David Eze sending in that message from Alaka here. And of course, we have this other one coming from the text message portal. It says, Mecca, okay, no need to retain Gennett Raw. No, let NFF sack him. He's a failure. Now, Nigeria have home coach that will do better than him. Kehinde Alamu sending in that message from Port Harcourt. And this other one says, good day, sports crew. What happened in Benin on Friday was another Daman miracle. Gennett Raw should be very watchful not to incur wrath of Nigerians. I'm beginning to have doubts about him. Now, Jenny from Bakana sending in that message. You need to see how they spell the raw, Superman. you pity for the Franco-German.
All right, one more call and we are out of the building. Today's Sports Live.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mina. I greet you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Shedrack Amadi.
Shedrack, go ahead.
Yes, Governor Wike pre-season tournament has come and gone. I know that it's preparations for Rivers United. But I ask, is this preparation enough? Because the league hasn't started. How can you go and play contra matches when you're not playing your league? Your league is not on. Then you've got to play first leg, you come back home and start training. Then to wait for second leg when the league hasn't started. I prefer that you start the league so that they will use the league to prepare themselves for the contra matches. That is how it is. But now, no league. No,
but that has always been the case in Nigeria. For the past 5 seasons, we start continental games before the league starts proper. And someone wants to know when the Super Eagles match will come up tomorrow. It's by 5 p.m. Nigerian time.
Okay, that is, but it's wrong. We should have done something right. Okay, that one has come and gone. Then the Super Eagles side, well, we should still support our people. No matter the mistake they made last match, we should just keep on going. We shouldn't be thinking about the 4-4-0. Because if we keep on thinking about that, the anger will still grow, as I said a couple of days ago.
All right.
We support our people.
All right.
So I think tomorrow we'll get victory. That's my belief.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts. That's where we draw the cuttings on today's edition of Today's Sports Live. Thank you so much for your time. The Sports will be back at exactly 3 p.m. tomorrow for another edition of Today's Sports Live. And the Nigerian game, we'll definitely look at that one. But before that, we have Sports Attack that comes up by 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Until then, stay safe and, of course, keep it locked on this dial Today FM 95. Rocking one.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good evening. Here's the news update at 4 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kala Dakarubatubo. The federal government, through the National Examinations Council, has released the 2020-2021 National Common Entrance Examination results, pegging the national cutoff marks at 142. The Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, who announced the results as presented by the Registrar of NECO in Abuja, said a total of 70,580 candidates sat for the examination nationwide, out of which 2,416 candidates passed with a minimum score of 66. Although 16,713 candidates were said to be absent from the examination due to the NSAS protest that rocked the country recently, the Minister of Education ordered a comprehensive investigation on the absence of such a huge number of students. Enugu State Government has confirmed the spread of yellow fever in 3 local government areas of the state. In a statement, the Commissioner of Health, Dr. Emmanuel Obi, who listed the LGAs as Insuka, Isi Uzo, and Ibo Etiti, said the state government has received reports of strange deaths within the communities. The commissioner also disclosed the ministry's response in handling the disease in the affected communities, saying the State Ministry of Health, a Rapid Response Team, LGA Rapid Response Teams, international and national partners have visited these LGAs to investigate the report and take samples for testing, just as was done for the reports at Igboeze North. He said the new set of samples from these LGAs have been sent to the National Reference Laboratory at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for a thorough and complete examination to determine conclusively the reasons for this new set of reports, and the results are expected back early this week. While commiserating with families that lost their loved ones in the unfortunate development, Obi reminded residents of the state that yellow fever is transmitted through mosquito bites. Boko Haram insurgents operating in the Sambisa forest area of Borno State have come under intense attacks from the Air Task Force of the Operational Afia Delay. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the Coordinator Defense Media Operations, Major General John Eneche. Eneche said multiple airstrikes were launched in the vicinity of the Sambisa forest on November 14, adding that several of the terrorists were killed after the Air Task Force dispatched attack aircraft to engage the target areas where the armed fighters were spotted under the dense vegetation. The two locations at Gobara and the Sambisa region were said to have been used by the terrorists as logistics bases as well as staging areas to launch attacks. Report from Kana local government area of Rivers State revealed that suspected cultists terrorizing the area have struck again, killing supporters of presidential candidate and musician Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobby Wine, and denied him entry into one of the campaign venues. Bobby Wine supporters who had gathered at Kumi town east of the country were also dispersed. His convoy was later denied entry into Sironko area and had to turn back to Mbale town, where more tear gas canisters were hurled at his supporters. Ugandans will vote in a general election on 14th January to elect the president and members of parliament. Incumbent President Yoweri Museveni, who has been in power for over 3 decades, is seeking re-election. Health Ministry guidelines discourage the politicians from drawing crowds and to only address a minimum, or rather a maximum, of 70 people. And that was the news updated for today, 95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands on a regular with soap and running water. Alternatively, use alcohol-based and sanitizers. Avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. If you can, work from home. Otherwise, observe social distancing and always wear your facial mask when in a gathering of 2 or more people. COVID-19 is real. However, it is not a death sentence. Good evening. I am Kala Da Karibatabo. Stay tuned. The Platform on Radio is up next.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
It all begins with breaking news.
Now, make no mistake, this is a difficult mission, and it will remain difficult for some time.
Then it keeps trending. Events, issues, personalities, all struggling to gain attention. But in the race for deadlines, the intrigues, power play, undercurrents are often missed or underreported.
Insecurity here is basically a product of poverty.
But not anymore. As the Platform on Radio steps in to fill the missing links on events, issues, and personalities in the news.
I'm not afraid of anybody. Yeah!
The Platform on Radio serves only the hottest topics and trending issues. Only on Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Get on the Platform on Radio and be served.
All stands, greet.
Good morning, sir.
Good
morning. You're welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand Pidgin English?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use this for? Okay, carry your pen. Carry your paper. Them for my class. People of this world, them plenty. Sins of this people, many. So many. Many times plenty, multiplier. Many times plenty, multiplier. Multiplier. The answer you get now waiting, they make poor man they cry. The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man they mess and leaders they lie. The answer you get now waiting, they make young boys and girls join party gang. Answer you get now waiting, they make innocent man rot inside the jail. Get it, and then agree to grant and bail. Get it, oh. Everybody, oh yeah, join Jagbajantis, make we solve mathematics. We did our continent, so Oyinbo say about mass we go use take solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis. So ya carry by be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh, for objectivity.
Be objective, gentlemen, ladies.
D for democracy. Democracy.
Military.
Now M for modification.
Of our behavior, let's down to the same behavior.
A, accountability.
If you've been a chop money, I beg you take them easy.
S for solidarity.
United we stand, divided, oh my shell.
We enter new millennium. Nigerians like 120 million. One population of 6 billion.
6 billion.
Divide that 1 by 120 million all together. Oh yeah.
All together.
The answer you get now waiting, they make people they jar. Come on for Niger. Answer you get now waiting, they make people want travel. By hook or by crook. The answer you get now waiting, they make people they sleep for embassy, for visa. Answer you get now waiting, they make people they sell the property for ticket. Get it, get it. Then they travel, see. Get it. Oh, hey. Everybody, oh yeah,
join Jagbajantis, we solve mathematics.
We did our continent, so
Oyinbo say na partners
we go use take
solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis.
So ya carry by be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh, for objectivity.
Be objective, gentlemen, ladies.
Be for democracy.
No matter how high it is, better military.
M for modification.
Of our behavior, let's down to the same behavior.
A, accountability.
If you've been a chop money, I beg you take them easy.
S for solidarity.
United we stand and divided, oh my shell.
You just the HSCity.
Shut it go.
And there's the VG City.
Shut it go.
Micro level for HSCity.
City.
Richmond corner be VG City.
City.
You try add AJ and VG City all together, oh yeah.
All together.
The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man oppress and then suppress. The answer you get now waiting, they make poor man depress, but then aggress. The answer you get now waiting, they make poor man they try to keep up with the Joneses. Answer you get now waiting, they make poor man begin, they try to prove a limit. Get it, and to get money then they finish. Get it, oh, hey, everybody, oh yeah,
join Jagbajantis, solve mathematics.
We did about our continent, so
Oyinbo say na partners
we go use take
solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis.
So ya carry by
situation in this nation, disposition, our condition, unexplainable pain. In our hearts, not to mention
brothers killing brothers. Full of patience, salvation, resolutions are made, but always made with lack of vision. Imperfection is the order as we keep seeking solutions. Only God can solve this mathematical equation.
Thanks for your contribution. Now, any more questions?
All right, good evening, rather. I was going to say good afternoon. Good evening to you, and thank you for staying tuned to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people, your premium talk radio station. The time right about now, 14 minutes gone past the hour, and officially you're welcome to the Monday edition of the Platform Radio on your premium talk station. I am Kalada, and I like to think of myself as the man of the people, or would I say the former man of the people. And right about now, my job is simple. It's to take you around the news portal and show you all the trending stories. Now, the Platform Radio, in case you do not know, is that show where you and I come together. We look at trending issues alongside correspondent reports, because on a daily basis, our correspondents go out there to the field and source reports. And on this program, we get to take those reports and put it alongside the trending stories and make of it what it is. Our correspondents will tell us where the events are happening, why the events are happening, how these events are happening, and what the people in these areas feel about the events that are occurring, at the time they are occurring. And so we get to talk from a point of complete knowledge, from a point of knowing what is really happening. So let's delve straight into the nitty-gritty, but first we have to check out what is on the menu for this evening. What is on the menu? You stay tuned and you get to find out. On the menu, Nigerian government rules out border closure as reason for unfair treatment of Nigerian traders in Ghana. All right, we'll find out why then. A reaction trail proposed increase in price of sachet water across Nigeria. Unknown gunmen kill youth leader in Ogoni community. Stay tuned. Conversation starts in a jiffy. Now, let's start with the very first conversation, and the report states that the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has denied. She has denied that Nigeria's decision to close its borders prompted Ghanaian authorities to clamp down on Nigerian traders working in the West African nation. And by the way, that was the narrative that was, spread across social media and various news platforms. Hundreds of shops belonging to Nigerians have been closed in Ghana, prompting calls from some of the traders to be repatriated back home. And now, Dabiri Erewa, while appearing on the television program Monitor from Port Harcourt, said Ghana's treatment of Nigerian traders was based on a complex of not being able to compete. She also said the issue has been going on for years, long before Nigeria decided to close its borders. Now, Dabiri Erewa added that the closure has impacted negatively on the finances and psychological state of many of the Nigerian traders, leading to suicide in at least one case. Listen to Dabiri Erewa.
They're not the same thing, actually. They're not the same thing. There's a reason why borders were closed, and that has been explained again and again, even to the ECOWAS. You can't be bringing in more arms and ammunition and all that, and Nigeria will not take action. So there are two different things, actually. We're talking of people that have been living in your country, working very, very well for years. Now, I'll ask you something if it has to do with the borders. Why did they send away the big industries in Ghana? We have 6 banks in Ghana. 6 Nigerian banks are in Ghana. Why didn't they tell them to leave? If you're afraid of border, if it's because of border closure. There's the gas pipeline going to Ghana. Why didn't you cut it off? So this is targeted. And I think it boils down to this lack of trust and some kind of complex. Because you see, these Nigerian traders, sell their goods at cheaper prices. Nigerians are very industrious. So it's about this complex. The reality is that the Ghanaian traders say, well, it's difficult to compete with the Nigerian traders. And they put in $1 million to make it almost impossible for traders to. So let's just leave the issue about border closure. It did happen because of border closure. This thing has been on for years.
But I know that the issue is that the Nigerian, rather the Ghanaian authority had said that if you want to do business in Ghana and you want to trade or whatever it is you want to do, you have to have the $1 million capital fund. Yeah, that is what it is. And a lot of traders are saying it's too big an amount. It's too huge an amount, and we will not be able to provide that. And a lot of people have said, yes, the law has been there since a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago. But the reason why it is being implemented right about now, or it is forcefully implemented right about now, is because of the closure of borders. But then again, if you look at the ECOWAS Treaty, I think it allows trading and doing business, in the various countries that belong to the ECOWAS bloc. But then again, like some people have argued, like some economists have argued, it is because Nigeria probably, by closing down our borders, according to them, the country is not obeying the treaty which she's signatory to, and that is why Ghana probably is doing the same thing. But I do not know. You've heard the lady, and she has come out to say, that's not the reason. The reason is because Ghanaians cannot compete with Nigerians when it comes to business and economics. Do you agree with this? Should Nigeria respond to Ghana by applying the same policy that the Ghanaian government applied? I mean, it's simple as that. If Nigerians are being kicked out because Ghanaians are refusing to compete with Nigerians, then like America and China have been doing for the past few years, maybe we should Nigeria should do the same to Ghana if that's really, really, really the reason, don't you think? Or do you think we should use diplomatic channels to approach this very conversation? I'd like to hear from you. The numbers are still the same. If you're an avid listener, you know them already. But if you're a first time listener, the numbers are 0817-000-0951 and 0810951091. You can send in those text messages to the number 0701-933-9962. All right, let the conversations begin. What do you make of it? Do you think Erewa Dabiri coming out to explain, is she trying to cover up something, or do you think she's saying the truth? And if she's saying the truth, then maybe the Nigerian government should, serve the same meal to the Ghanaians, especially those doing business in Nigeria. Or do you think, a diplomatic channel should be used? And if yes, what is that channel that you think Nigerian government should use to solve this very problem? Because this problem, probably I can dare say has been going on for 2 years thereabout. This is not the first time Nigerian traders in Ghana are complaining about issues like this. $1 million capital fund, that's crazy for me. I think it is a huge amount. But what do you think? Call me and let me get to hear from you. Yesterday on Friday we talked about the fact that about 752 traders, right, we're asking the federal government to repatriate them from Ghana because probably they had lost all their funds or something like that to the crisis that is ongoing, or the diplomatic role between Nigeria and Ghana. But let's hear from this caller now. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello, Canada.
Yes, sounds like Stella West.
No, please. This is George B. from the Purple.
All right, welcome.
Yes, please. What do you expect Dabiri to say? This is where she thinks from. This is the government she has to protect because she's benefiting from them. What I heard from Ghanaians is that because borders are closed, they were able to ship their own products to us.
All right.
Thereby endangering their own products. You understand? There's that trade relationship is no longer in existence. So So that was why they are now against the Nigerians in Ghana. So let them go and stay in Nigeria and lock up the borders and do that trade there. That is it.
All right then. But then again, do we have any plan for the people returning? Because if a lot of them have lost their businesses, then coming back to Nigeria will mean no good for Nigeria because they would not have what to do.
You know how it is now. Trader money, farmer money. We will always continue to say it. Trader money, farmer money, Ghana people money.
All right.
All in radio stations, so no practical.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in there. Keep your calls coming in. What do you think about this very one? While we make ready to switch to the next conversation, 0817-000-0951 and 0810-951-0951. Your text messages, of course, to the number 0701-933-9962. Let's find out who's here. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from? Obina, right?
The person representing Nigeria is not giving us good information.
Really? Really?
For example, remember xenophobia in South Africa. Example, South Africa and Nigerian president have met. They are on the situation. The people have lost their business. See, brother, the same way Nigerians are treated in Nigeria is the same way they're treated outside Nigeria.
Our Nigerians treated in Nigeria different matters. Security issues.
Let me tell you something.
Security issues.
Security issues.
Yeah.
That's the same excuse you give. You've been impoverishing people. I'm telling you. Now, people have lost their business there. What is their fate here? No fate again. I'm telling you, Nigerian government have to wake up and be diplomatic in their citizens. Not saying I don't care because it's concerning one particular group of people.
All right.
It's a very big thing we find ourselves in this kind of
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. Let's move now to the next conversation. What is the next conversation all about? Naira. 2 Naira one time, and then it got to 5 Naira. And now, recently it was 10 Naira, and it's getting to, who knows, maybe 15 or 20 Naira. In Nigeria, prices usually defy the law of gravity. So whatever goes up never comes down. Never. Ask a bottle of mineral what it used to be like in those days. Right now, how much is it now? The reactions to trailing the proposed increase in the price of sachet water across the country. Some respondents who spoke in an interview with our correspondent, Sandra Kenneth, expressed concerns that the move may force some persons to resort to drinking untreated water. That's the tap water. Listen.
We know that they are right to increase the price of the pure water, and if they do increase it, life will be difficult for us. We find it hard to do some certain things here in the country, so we just urge the government to calm down and reduce the price of things, the price of raw materials. And
if they increase the price of pure water in Nigeria now, life will become so hard and so unbearable for us, because we citizens of this country and we unemployed youth find it difficult to survive. And if the price of pure water is being increased, so many lives will be shortened and we lack potable water. So if pure water is being increased, which means we'll go back to drinking dirty water, and there'll be a lot of sickness in the country, and we are begging the federal government to come to our aid.
Now, speaking on the reason for the proposed increase, River State Chairman of the Water Producing Association of Nigeria, Igberi Maxine, said it is due to a hike in the prices of raw materials. Now, in the statement obtained by a correspondent, made available to correspondent, he expressed regrets over their waters and keep them away from sunlight using tarpaulin. Now, what do you think will be? I mean, a lot of people have said, okay, we'll drink tap water. But aside from tap water, what do you think would be the implication or the implication of the increase in the price of sachet water, in the price of pure water? For those of us who don't understand the big grammar there, yeah. So what do you think would be the implication, of the increase in the price of sachet water? 0817 000 0951 and 0810-951-0951. Let's find out who we have here, yeah?
Hello.
Welcome.
My name is Peter, calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Peter from Port Harcourt, welcome.
I think this idea is not for this country. A country whereby people do whatever they like. People increase their commodity anytime, any day.
Do you think the increment is not necessary? I mean, there's the increment in fuel price, there's the increment in prices of food and commodity, there's the increment in almost everything. So don't you think they also have the right to increase the price of their products?
Rightly, my brother. It cannot help us. Because when you look at things, the way things are going, if you ask everybody to increase, because let me tell you one thing, everybody is doing one thing or the other to complement each other. When you see that maybe your sachet water is the most necessary, there are people that are doing garret, there are people that are producing pepper, there are people that are doing one thing or the other to assist. If government cannot regulate, just like the time I heard about, is it Agi Rosi or who used to go to the market and break some cups of garlic.
But you're not getting the point. You cannot regulate this very one because now it has the ripple effect, just like you said. So if the one who is selling pepper has increased this price, it is what's the word now? Inevitable that the one selling sachet water would also increase our price. So it started with fuel. No, even it started with prices of food and commodity because now, for instance, if you get a chance to buy onions, you know how expensive it will be.
Do you know that, may I use this word opportunity? These people were opportune to be maybe to have a sachet factory. Formerly, you know that before you used to, if you want to drink cold water, you will go to the market, they will use cup and give to you. I know I could remember those days, this is 80 or what. So we used to get it and they are opportune. It's not something to use it to siphon people. We know that everybody is increasing. But if we say every downturn of this country should be increased, I think people will suffer. People will suffer. Somebody like Amechi who can regulate or go to outside the country or outside the state and bring Gary to fall down the price of Gary in this country. It's supposed to be our president. If the person
all right, we're not campaigning for president now. We're not
this will come down.
All right, thank you very much there. Moving on. This one says, hello, Canada. The truth of the matter is, in Wells' voice, we have reduced ourselves to a nation of weaklings where anybody can bully and treat our citizens with so much levity and disrespect. Ghana will dare not try such things with some African countries. Example, Cameroon. Same Ghana that a private citizen went and destroyed our embassy, and yet nothing happened. Until we as a people begin to place value on ourselves, nobody will ever take us seriously. We will remain the butt of jokes in the international space. Being a Nigerian seems to be a sin these days. Emmanuel, thank you very much for that one. Thank you very much. Do I know this, Emmanuel? No, I don't. All right, thank you very much for that text message, or rather, WhatsApp message. Let's go. Kalana, I don't understand this statement of government planning to increase sachet water. Is sachet water produced and distributed by the government? But hey, it's not the government that is planning to increase. It is the association. It is the association. Now, I think the person who you think is the government official is the River State chairman of the Water Producing Association of Nigeria. So it's not government, it's an association, yeah? 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, this is Pastor Jai.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
My brother, Kalala, you see, let me blow your head with the truth.
All right.
Yes. My brother, the question we need to ask, the pure water we are drinking before now, and the one that is to be sold with additional 5 naira, is it really pure? Before even coming to talk about an additional 5 naira.
You're saying they don't put in the required energy to produce the water? Is that what you're saying?
My brother, that is it. Nigerians are just taking something. I used to, when in those days, we fall into the class of children who were selling water, pure water, or so-called, because by those days it was called ice water. We either bottle it or bag it in ordinary waterproof. and people still buy and drink. So when the issue of pure water came in, it looks as if it has water has been, or cold water has been upgraded to a point where it will be treated for people to have a good water. But right from that day up to now, is the water pure? I was opportune to be in one higher institution where we gathered the students and was trying to examine this pure water. Do you know that right in my eyes, I saw the same pure water that is being bagged in that so-called pure water waterproof that we buy. My brother, it was filled with things that if you look through the microscope, you will see things that
so
from that day, many people said that today marks the end of them taking pure water.
So what you're trying to say
now,
is,
what we are saying is that
in summary,
the water is not even treated, and because of this protest and things and every economic situation in this, everything has hiked and things have gone high. Does it have to also include pure water that is not even treated?
But let's agree with you now that the pure sachet water is not treated. But people have agreed that okay, whether it's treated or not, like you went back in history to talk about how it used to be in those little islands and all. Let's agree that people have agreed to drink dirty water. It's not pure, like you've mentioned. But they still will spend money to make the dirty water available for people to drink. They have to own their generating set, for instance, to pump water, and they have to use their borehole. They have to service their borehole.
For the fact that we are managing things, people should not come up with things that.
But they have to use fuel. They have to use fuel. They have to use fuel for whatever you think you're managing. Don't you get? And fuel have been increased by what, 12 naira thereabout? So
if things are increasing, there are things that are no-go area for increment.
Okay.
This should be, at least, pure water should be. It is just like the list.
All right.
You understand?
All right. So your point is they should not increase it.
So
that's your point.
Nigeria should not make things difficult.
All right.
For ourselves.
All right. Thank you very much.
Things difficult for ourselves.
All right. Thank you very much. If you think the water is not as pure as you want, then you could drink from your tap water. I mean, it's the same thing. If you say you're managing it, I mean, manage the one in your kitchen or in your bathroom. But hey, it is just good that you drink very hygienic water. That's what I'm going to say to you. 95.1 FM, what's your name?
Jude from Oibo.
All right, Jude from Oibo, welcome.
We are talking about price of pure water. And somebody is telling me whether it is treated or not. Is that what we are talking about? We're talking about increase in goods and services. And human being is talking about treatment.
He's entitled to his opinion, Jude, so go to yours now. All right, thank you very much. We lost that call there. This one says, the implication is that we, the buyers, shall stop buying sachet water and rather treat our own bowl water for consumption. Anyway, Ayauka Justice Job from Waba out the East. And that's the truth. I mean, if one bag of sachet water was 100 naira or at most in some places 120 naira, it will mean it will be going for 150, 200 naira. So, hey, everybody boil your water and drink. 95.1 FM, what's your name?
Yes, a man of the people.
Yeah. What's your name?
Alaba Anthony online.
Anthony, welcome.
You see, there is no things about what those people want to do. If we got increments in their cost of production,
is that simple?
Invariably, the price of their finished product.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple. There
is no argument.
Yeah.
And take a look at it. Which product, which finished good in Nigeria that has not increased up to 100%?
All right. Canada has not increased its price, by the way. So maybe now that you've mentioned, Canada would have to increase its price. So for every time people want to listen to me on Today FM, people have to pay some more. What do you think?
My brother, it's people that people pay for us. Because I'm charging me for my VAT.
Okay.
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 The truth is that the government is
not sensitive to the plight of the citizens.
All right.
There are certain things that the government also put in place so that the price of goods and services will not go up, but they are not doing it.
All right.
Imagine the price, they said they want to even increase the price of petrol. I remember when the price of crude oil in the market came down, Nigerian market did not reduce their price.
But you can't blame the marketers, because there is the regulatory body that has to fix the ex-depot price, which in turn reflects on the pump price.
My man, God bless you. But you see, when the price go up, they are quick to adjust it upwards. Then when it comes, why is it that they are not quick to adjust it downwards? It's only when it's going on that they know that, the price are going up, so we do it. They are not sincere. So anybody that wants to increase the price of these goods and services, I'm not that you are free to do. After all, we are in a free market economy, so nobody should oppose them or play the penny. Everyone should do as they want.
All right, I would have to increase my own too. Thank you very much for that advice. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, 95.1 FM. Turn off your radio set. You know the rules. Yeah, welcome.
Okay, I've done that.
All right, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
It's evening.
Good evening to you. Any which one you want. Good evening to you, yeah.
I'm Mr. Anwar. I'm calling from Delhi.
All the way from Indele. Welcome.
Yes. You see, the issue of increasing the price of pure water, for me, I think it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Yes. Like me, I have never bought sachet water on the way.
Okay.
Yes, if I need water to drink, in my house I can boil, or I buy the bottled water.
But then it means that if sachet water is going up, now, the bottled water would also go up. It's just pure mathematics.
If it goes up, I can adjust.
Okay.
Yes, so it shouldn't be a case.
All right.
The only one that pains me is the price of fuel.
Okay.
That one affects everybody.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in then. This one says, nothing we no go see for this Buhari administration. After the increment of pump price of fuel last week, now it's the ton of sachet water chai in Nigeria. But hey, guy, before I read on, just know that it's not government that's increasing it. Waiting we do this Buhari government serve Canada from January to this month of November. We have experienced many increments. How do we survive chai from Thank God Atwegu? All right then. All right. Wonderful questions. This one says, Canada, you must be a bloody liar on Ikuku issue. What did you say? Shouting it was out of hatred. What do you say? Shouting? Is it shouting? I know you eventually say it was out of hatred on the Igbo, which you also hate them, from Ayomide. Okay, Ayomide, thank you very much. Whether you like it or not, according to the official memo, insecurity was the reason why the region was shut down. Also, what do you call this place? Ilabuchi was also shut down. Some areas in Dio were also shut down. So yeah, insecurity was the reason given, and I'm just mere reporting what was said. Again, market forces will always play out. It started with the protest, then the vandalization of public utility, then the increase in demand, then the increase in price. Mr. Samuel Ijeoma. All right, thank you very much. But let's use the remaining time to look at the last story on the menu for today. And the story is a report from Kana local government area of Rivers State that is revealing suspected cultists are terrorizing or were terrorizing the area. And, currently they have killed one person. Our correspondent gathered that the hoodlums invaded the Boro community and killed a young man from the community identified as Ledum in Wikina. Now, the chairman of the Community Development Committee, Vicen Bossi, who confirmed the incident, that is the killing of the young man Ledum, said or called on relevant security agencies to investigate the repeated killing of youths in the community by gunmen. That Bossi, while recalling how on the 3rd of June this year, gunmen invaded the community and killed 2 persons, urged the police and other security agencies to provide adequate security and to fight against insecurity in the area. Let's listen to what the CDC chairman, Vicent or Vincent Gossi.
This is about the second time we'll be experiencing this ugly incidents in the past 5 months. Exactly on the 3rd of June 2020, a similar incident occurred where a youth was also killed in a similar fashion. And so we are using the opportunity to call upon the government and all security agencies to assist in providing security for the people of my community. We are at a point where we don't know where to turn to. We are helpless. We need improved security in our community. As a matter of fact, we are calling upon all relevant agencies to assist in investigating these very ugly incidents and bring it to a stop.
Now, our correspondent gathered that the killings may not be unconnected to supremacy battle between suspected Iceland, which is a cult, and Dagbam, which is also a cult, and their members are even going ahead to target relatives of rivals. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, this is the point where parents need to call their children to order and tell them, hey guys, you see, joining cults will do you no good. It will only affect the family, because if they come for you, they don't see you, they'll kill everybody in the house. This is the time when parents need to call their children to order. I'm just saying. But I mean, my key question, we saw relative peace sometime in the beginning of the year, and the argument during that period, not just the beginning of the year, I think towards the end of last year, we saw a relative peace, and the argument then was OSPAC and Operation Sting. But apparently, the IGP asked vigilantes across the country to relinquish guns and whatever weapons that they were using, as the vigilantes are not allowed to carry weapons in the country. Now we've seen police also saying they're demoralized and cannot go back to their duty posts, all of that stuff. The question I have in my head: are we gradually seeing the return of cult play in Rivers State? I used to be 2018, beginning of 2019, sporadic gunshots in parts of Rivers State, killings here and there, beheadings here and there, no nightlife. Nobody slept with their two eyes closed. You can be sleeping and be hearing gunshots, playing in the background. Gunshots became like an anthem, so to say. Have you seen a return in Rivers State, most especially in the Ogoni region? Because 1-933-9962. Just asking, what else can we do to make sure that we don't return to that time when insecurity was the order of the day? Because during those days, everybody, I mean, you, myself, everybody was on the edge. Everybody was looking over their back and like, who be that person? They follow me for back. But the question is, what can we do? What can we do so we don't return back, to that period, that time, that era, that point in our history where insecurity was just too much? 95.1 FM. What's your name?
Hello, Canada.
Yes. Hello.
Canada.
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name?
Yeah, the Ogoni community is one of the.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
I'm Mike.
All right.
The Ogoni people is one of the useless people in River.
No. You can't say you. Samuel, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. I think this case now, these people that are shooting, it's like campaign is coming gradually from the grassroots, and people are preparing.
Campaign for what? Local government elections, or what are they campaigning for?
You should understand that maybe another governor is coming up again. You have to be training people on the ground before they will come up. It's when people know what they want, it was just as you said, whereby people cannot sleep with their two eyes closed. People will be walking around shooting every day. They rope 3 times, walking, crying. So at the end of it, nothing will happen. Even Ogoni Akwa Ibom Road, is it Aba Road of Odibo? had been happening. But yet, not it was when these boys, let me call them Spark, whether Spark or LS Spark or
all this Spark. I'm telling you, Spark, Spark, all this Spark. Continue, yeah.
So far as Spark, employ these people, call these people to your community. That will be peace.
All right.
In River State.
All right.
So immediately now, I'm talking now, all over here now, it's only us, only Spark and the SARS that these bad boys can only hear their name.
And run. All right.
So we have stopped SARS. But let this all Spark. This will swing up in the work and make sure that it is.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wonderful comment there. Well said. Ken from Port Harcourt, I cannot read your message because 8 speech is involved. You cannot castigate a tribe, so to say. You cannot see, and that's why I can see the results now. I guess that's what you're trying to say, Ken from Port Harcourt. All right then. This one says, good evening, Canada. The hike of the price of fuel has affected everything. Some of Nigerians will use this to increase the price even where it is not necessary. Increase the pure water, sachet water price. It is understandable. They are buying fuel. Everything is going out of hand. When the crude oil price goes down, the fuel price will still increase instead of reducing the price because no one is there to defend and speak for consumers. It is painful. Dominic from Port Harcourt. All right then. 95.1 FM. What's your name?
Hello, Canada, my good friend.
What's that your name again? I keep forgetting. From Owerri, my friend from Owerri. What's your name?
Why can you say I'm from Owerri?
Sorry, what's your name? I'm mistaking you for someone else then.
I am Grandpa.
Oh, Grandpa. Sorry. Welcome.
Canada, do you think that cultism will stop? It has not.
Cultism can be reduced to the barest minimum. That's what I think.
Okay. It can be reduced if every person works in one accord. You see, a lot of silent killings have happened. It's only what is reported that we hear. And they say if whatever Christ did was written in the Bible, there's no room that can contain it.
All right.
So it is happening every day in Ogoni land and some other places. People are running away. In Port Harcourt, majority of people now are from there. See, what I'm saying to you is that these are the people, church has gone there and they say they repented. I don't know after repentance why they like to kill themselves. It's not the best. So what I'm saying again is that our leaders, especially the politicians, who are using them, please, they should expose those people. You can't go for a
how can a politician who's using a cultist expose the cultist? Don't you know the cultists will expose the politician?
No, the cultists will expose the politician.
Okay.
Because he can't go for repentance, and then your master is still there, and tomorrow he will lure you in again.
Okay. I get it.
So you become bumped before. So it's not the best. So they should stop using them, because if you are using people to shed blood, even if you escape from this world, you not escape from God.
All right, thank you very much, Grandpa. Thank you very much. Moving on now. Thank you very much. This is Canada. The young man killed yesterday was my uncle. He was actually a member of a cult group, but recently denounced his membership, and that was why they came after him. I think community security is very necessary. From Lebari in Bori. Lebari, I do not know how I can verify your story. If it's really your uncle, then I think, may his soul rest in peace would suffice right about now. May his soul rest in peace is apt right about now. But I don't know if that is true, like you've said, but it's fine. This one says, violence will always be an issue in society. However, I think it takes good police work and an effective judiciary system to curb it. Mr. Samuel Ijama, yet again. Thank you very much for that one. Back to the phone lines. I've got 5 minutes left on the show, and I will be wrapping up very soon. Let's take this call now. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello, I think I can contribute to anyone now.
Go ahead. We have 5 minutes left. Go ahead.
This is hard calling from my other west.
Welcome.
pure water, the price of pure water going high. All the problem is coming from this administration. They are the federal government. They are the cost.
It's not the federal government that sells sachet water.
Increasing from 160 to 170. What do you want?
But yet again, fuel price. The federal government will argue is as a result of market forces. You know, the international price of oil is what is affecting how we sell fuel in Nigeria.
Canada. Administration, bad policy, bad decision cannot make administration to progress.
All right, then.
Cannot fix country in order.
Entirely open there.
Before they remove subsidies, they're supposed to fix our refineries. All these price of goods going higher will not be there.
Okay.
So they are the federal government are the cause of the whole problem. How this country look at the way the Nigerians are suffering, the poor masses are suffering.
All right. Take a chill pill, though.
Bad leadership, bad administration, bad policy, bad decisions. They're making there.
All right. But take a chill pill. You know, take it easy. Be coming down, like Femi Adesina will say. Let's take this on the call. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I beg your pardon.
Okay, my name is Egbere Maxson.
You are on our news bulletin, I guess.
Yes, I am.
All right then. Welcome.
Thank you. I just want to comment on the increment in the price of the sachet water.
I thought you were going to comment. Where are you? Okay, that's why you are on our bulletin. The increment of sachet water. Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Good. We are not punishing the public for any reason.
All right.
But I just want them to understand that every bit of raw material we use in producing the sachet water is imported, including the cellophane.
Why is it imported?
Well, Nigeria, as big as Nigeria, we don't have the technology to produce the cellophane.
Can you not buy the machine? Can your association not buy the machine and produce in Nigeria?
Well, if you buy the machine to produce in Nigeria, where do you get the raw material from?
Interesting.
The raw material has been monopolized by the Indians. The raw material is produced here in Nigeria, but they will have to export it to India. Then rebag it and send it to Nigeria for foreign exchange. So it's not our fault. The fault is the policy. The Senate has to do something.
Okay. So it's not necessarily because of hike in fuel prices, but it's because
that also includes it, because we are even looking at pushing it from the 120 we just said to 150, because our main aim was the 120 until the fuel price came on board.
So you guys were going to increase regardless of whether there was an increment in fuel or not?
Yes.
Okay.
The raw material, the cellophane, as at a few weeks back, was around nine something.
All right.
But as I talk to you now, it's 1,150 naira per kg.
Now, Egberi Maxine, can we use an alternative to the cellophane, a cheaper alternative? That's one. Number two, how much does a sachet of water go for right about now that it has been increased?
It's for now. It's still at 10 naira.
Okay, still at 10 naira.
Still at 10 naira.
But the proposed increment is what?
The proposed increment is 120 a bag.
That for one sachet, how much is it going to be? That's what I'm trying to get.
It's still 10 naira.
It's still be 10 naira. Oh.
Yes, until we finish our meeting tomorrow to look at the consumer's price.
All right then.
It means we have to increase to 20 naira per sachet. We will.
All right then. Thank you very much, Ted. Thank you very much, Maxine, for that. What do you call it now? Enlightenment. Lord of the mic. You go agree buy pure water for 20 naira. You go agree buy pure water for 20 naira.
Pure water for 20 naira. As in the pure water, they say nylon.
Because now where would they go now?
No, maybe they should just call it. Maybe it will not be bottled pure water.
But oh wait, you get it.
But pure water.
But pure water. Okay.
Something like that.
But your water.
But if it is pure water, the pure water we know. No.
Then why increase them?
We'll go to our borehole. Borehole is big.
All right, that's how we end the platform on radio. Remember that it is always a production of the news department, and today's edition was put together by Chinedu Wuna. Do not forget, take responsibility, follow all the precautionary measures put in place for your safety against COVID-19. Let's do this again tomorrow. Yeah, let's make it a date. But up until then, keep listening to Today 95.1 FM. And I might just make a return tonight so we can talk some more. So, you know what? Just keep listening, like I said.
Hello, welcome to this live transforming online business education program on radio, where we have latest information on the benefits of e-business and e-investment, powered by Raleigh Academy. Now, Raleigh Academy is a reputable organization that offers educational services in online businesses and financial education. The ultimate goal here is to equip anyone in search of a genuine opportunity to create a new stream of income or add to their current stream or streams of income from the online business world that is the internet. In today's program, we'll be looking at 3 critical business lessons from the year 2020. And in the studio with me is an e-trader and an online entrepreneur with Raleigh Academy. Now, this gentleman was trained at the London School of Business and Finance. He attended the London Academy of Trading. He has certification in technical analysis from Cyprus. He has gathered over 12 years of experience in financial trading and technical analysis. Well, he's none other than Michael Akinwale. Sometimes I'm tempted to call him the guru. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Lekon. Beautiful day to be in the studio, I can tell you that.
Let's start with the company, Raleigh Academy. Tell us more about the company and about yourself.
The company Raleigh Academy is a global e-business education brand with the head office of the company is in Europe. And the focus of the company is actually to connect people with inspirational learning experiences to the opportunities that are available when it actually comes to making money online right now and to show them the new age strategies for attaining financial freedom.
Interesting. Now let's get to the business of the day, Michael.
All right.
2020 has been a very phenomenal year.
Yeah.
From the pandemic to, different events here and there.
Absolutely.
Now, even if these events had some sort of negative connotations, are there lessons that can be learned from these events?
Absolutely. You learn both from success and you learn from failures.
Okay.
And there's actually a book written by John Maxwell titled Failing Forward. How you can take negative activities and use them to succeed in the future. And so there are some critical lessons that we could have learned from this year 2020, even though it's been a very, very phenomenal year. One of the first lessons we learned in the business world is that number 1, you cannot have a single source of income. Number 2, your business cannot be 100% offline. You must have an online presence added to your offline business. And number 3, apart from these things, you also need to have a business that is 100% online. Now, let me try and take each of them one by one. Now, when it comes to multiple sources of income, data has shown right now that one can never depend on a single income. I pity those, for instance, during the pandemic who had just a job and they were just laid off. That means that's all. No, it's too risky. So you can never depend on a single income. And it's even has been shown right now that the average millionaire has at least 7 sources of income. So right now, you can never depend on a single income. Number 2 is the fact that no matter what you are doing, for instance, you have a shop, you are selling products, please start selling that product online. Create an online presence for that business. So even if something happens where you can't go to the office, your business can continue online. That's number 2. Okay. And then number 3, you must have a business that doesn't have anything offline at all. What do I mean is that business is 100% online, which means no matter what happens, anywhere you are in the world, you can actually sit there and do business. And from our research, there are several businesses that you can do, that fit into this category. But one of the best that we've looked at is what we call e-trading. E-trading can be a business that one can do that's 100% online, that anywhere you are in the world, you can sit down and keep doing your business without disturbing anybody.
Interesting. Quite interesting facts you just outlined there.
Yeah.
Explain to us e-trading. That part caught me. What is it about?
Okay, that word E in e-trading means electronic trading, or what we call online trading, all right? And it's the online or electronic buying and selling of financial instrument with a bid to make profit. And when we say financial instrument, we look at things like shares, commodities, currencies, in a bid to make some profit from buying them, all right? And you see, e-trading has several benefits that actually make it superior to other business. Number 1, that I like e-trading is that e-trading does not require strength, only sense. You don't need strength, which means whether you're a man or a woman, or you are old or you are young, you can do the business.
Okay.
And you can do it from home. You don't need to have staffs. You are not competing with anybody. And you can start very small. It's a business that you don't need to go break the bank to start. And then the income potential is unlimited, which means your skill is the major factor here. And then the business can start working for you immediately. And you can do it 24 hours a day. You can even do it at your own leisure. And finally, there's high liquidity in the business, which means you are never tied down at any time with any investment that you cannot liquidate. That's one of the reasons why e-trading can actually be very superior as a business that anybody can do, and you can do it from anywhere in the world, no matter where you are.
Amazing. So this e-trading business seems to have a lot of prospects.
Absolutely.
Tell us in practical terms how profit is made e-trading.
Okay, let me break it down very simply for you.